Hello, everyone.
Howdy.
It's William and Andrew here from Allegory Gallery. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you're out there, please say hi. We shared this news about this broadcast far and wide today. So if you're new, please let us know you're joining here. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Just type a comment. We can see the comments from everywhere, but you will only see the comments from the places you are. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see YouTube comments. If you're watching on our Facebook group, you'll see our Facebook group comments, etc., etc. But we're broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and we can see them all. And we love to, we also can hear and see what everyone else is saying. Hello, Kimberly. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we've got new gemstones for you tonight, and they're nice, if I do say so myself. Andrew picked them, not me. But he
Don't worry about it.
But he did a good job. So I think you're going to really like them tonight. Norma is here. Hello, Norma. Thank you for joining us. So, hey, Donna, thanks for joining. So we are, like I said, we shared this far and wide. There may be new people watching. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I hope so. I hope some new people took us up on the offer to watch us tonight. And if you're out there, please don't be shy. Don't be bashful. Say hi in the comments so we know you're there. This first part, we always spend about an hour or so, 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes more, catching up and just chatting. It's a chill chat. Huh?
Could be less.
Could be less too. But most of the time...
Could be more.
Could be more. Most of the time it would tend toward more. Marianne is here. Kim is here. Thank you all for joining us. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Donna is here. Did I say Donna? Hello, Donna. I did say Donna. So it's been a day, y'all. How are you doing? How's it going? We're in our home office. That's why our background doesn't have all the beads, because we do that at Star Cottage Studio. But this is the home office. This is the chill place. And we're going to hang out, chat, and look at some beautiful stones. Kim says, your voice is going in and out. Am I doing that for anyone else, or is it just Kim? Is it just Kim? Kimberly says, I'll be watching for a minute while I make hamburger rice dinner. Nice. Hamburger rice. What's hamburger rice?
Hamburger and rice.
Hamburger and rice. Yeah.
I had internet problems all day today.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
The internet at the cottage was good.
No, it wasn't.
Huh?
No, because I was at the cottage trying to do my Zoom, and then I had to come here.
It was good for me. I don't know.
You're hogging up all the internet?
Maybe. But yeah,
frantic.
You were getting frantic. Yeah. Yeah, when I went, it was fine. So, of course, that's how it works.
I told my mentor today, I said, I got the double touch.
Yep. That's how it works. Yeah, we kind of crossed in the ways there. And Beth is here. Hello, Beth. I don't recognize your name. Thank you for being here. I hope you're Beth Bellew. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I tried. Says good here. Good. Thank you so much. Donna says, Donna had a stressful day. Son is having issues. Girlfriend got him to the ER. His blood sugar was horribly high.
Oh, boy.
They've admitted him for tests. Donna hears us just fine. So Facebook hearing, the voice doesn't seem to be going out. Norma says, Kim, it isn't just you, but I think it's fine now. Kim says, it was happening for me, but seems okay. Maybe it's just something in the stream. That happens sometimes.
Because I came in the room.
You walked in the room. Kimberly says, it's a cheesy rice with hamburger, kind of like Hamburger Helper, just more homemade, less box. Nice. And Donna, we hope that everything goes okay and they figure out what's going on. Marianne had salmon. That's the French. Salmon Alfredo casserole.
Fancy.
That is fancy. That is fancy. Beth is laughing, so I probably butchered your last name, right? Kimberly says, hi, Beth. Nice to see you. Marianne says, welcome, Beth. Yeah, so we, Andrew had meetings today. Andrew's swinging things around in the office. It's a rodeo in here. Andrew had meetings today I did packing and shipping, and I cleaned up some stuff that I had some stuff, the stuff you don't want to do, you just don't want to do. Um, and I had some of those things that just feel like they're gonna be like, and I tried to do them today. I had a lot of anxiety yesterday. I woke up with some today, and sometimes the day after, like after you've been so like low the day before, you get up the next day and you're like, I just got to do something. So I started with some of the hard stuff, and that kind of got me going today. So that was good. I did some sublimation work today, so I got some pins out for people, and yeah, a bunch of other stuff. But
I think we're going to turn off the pins.
yes, we're going to be turning off the pins other than a select few at a time.
Not made to order.
Not made to order. They will be made already.
Everything is no more MTOs.
Yeah, we don't want made to orders anymore.
They need chaperones to come out with a song.
Beth says, you two, saw you and thought I'd check you out. However, I'll be leaving for Ducky Race. What's Ducky Race? What's Ducky Race?
Is it like racing ducks?
Kimberly says, I'll be at Ducky Race too. I have 2 devices. LOL. What is that? Marion says, Thunder Horse Deskedin Ducky Races. Beth says, oh yes. I have no idea what this is, y'all. I am out of the loop. Is that my age showing? What's going on? Like what is a ducky race? Somebody explain it to me. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm scared to Google it.
I know, right? The made to order stuff. The made to order stuff is going to start going away. We're going to start making things in advance, and only having a select few pins at a time, for example. So instead of all 60 some pins being available, we'll narrow it down to maybe 10 at a time, and then we'll rotate those in and out of stock. That way things ship quicker. I don't have to stop what I'm doing to go make something or cut something on the laser. We're going to do the same thing with the wooden pendants. We're going to do the same thing with the pins, wooden pendants. A lot of the stuff that we make to order now will not be made to order anymore. So that also means it won't be available at all times anymore.
It'll be better anyway.
It'll be better. It'll be better
mainly
for everybody.
Because there's so much stuff that people don't actually see it.
Yeah, we'll be able to do smaller groups of things and broadcast them and promote them better. Because I can promote our wooden pins all day, but to promote 60 of them, nobody's looking through 60 of them in a Facebook post or in an Instagram post. Like, it's not happening. So we're going to do smaller bursts of things. Hello, Mary Jane. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Susie is here, our neighbor. Thanks so much. Let's see. Beth says, yes, Mary Jane, just a fun thing where you can win beads on Thunderhouse Deskedents.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Not age problem, William, jewelry related, honestly. Thunderhorse Deskedents does a monthly ducky race for participants of a monthly found objects challenge. I've never heard of them. Never heard of them. Marion says, I am aware of the ducky races. I've never heard of them. That's a new thing to me. New thing to me. We'll have to check that out. Andrew may be checking it out now. So yeah, that's fun. That sounds like fun. I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, so we've been busy today. How's everyone else doing? Randy Brown, Thunderhorse Deskedents. Don't know them.
It's supposed to be Descendants.
I don't know. Everyone keeps writing DESC, descend. Oh, am I pronouncing it wrong? Descendants? Yeah, probably am. Descendants.
I don't know this person.
I read that wrong. No.
But we're friends.
You're friends? That's good. Yeah, I don't know. That's a new one. I'm gonna look it up. once the live's over. But that's fun. Sounds like fun. How's everyone else's day going? What y'all doing? Did you have anything good to eat today? We know we like talking about food, right? It's been a busy day. And I've got some stuff out. I didn't make it to the post office today in time, so I'll be shipping anything that went out tomorrow morning, dropping it off then. And I've got some packing to do yet. It's good. It's the normal thing. But I was very glad to clear the decks off of some things that I've been not wanting to do, and so that's good. It's always good. It feels a little bit better to get started on some of those things like that. How about you all? What's going on? How about you, Andrew? What'd you do today?
I painted.
You did some painting?
And what else did I do? I talked to my mentor.
Had a mentor meeting.
I organized some projects and caught up on some email and to help organize things. I'm helping put together an exhibition. So we're working on that.
Nice.
And
can you say where yet?
No,
it's under wraps yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we still have a couple more things that have to be finalized. But yeah. So before I can spill the beans. Anyways, how many people are watching?
We've got 15 people watching so far. Marion says, I went for a nice walk outside today, then ran into a political discussion. Who do I vote for?
In Canada?
In Canada. Lots of things going on up there, too, from what I understand. Lots of different things going on all around.
Well, tonight we have some shorty strands. We also have long strands. We have things that people have been requesting.
Yeah, Andrew went for some good stuff for y'all.
So for folks who wanted some rougher stuff, we found some good deals.
Yeah, I think we got awesome stones. Some interesting cuts on some things, which is really cool.
Some things you're not going to see just everywhere.
Yeah. So
which is good.
Which is very good, right? Good stuff. And of course, always those good prices for y'all. We do our best. To always bring you good prices, whether the things that you get from us are the vintage or the contemporary. We're always trying to do what we can. We are a small business located in Pennsylvania in the United States, and we've been in business since 2011, and we'd like to keep going. So join us, follow us, subscribe to us, and hang out with us. It's a lot of fun, and it's chill. We stay chill most of the time.
What is this chill stuff?
We're very chill right now.
Are we?
Aren't we? Do you think this is hyperactive? You think this is?
I don't know. I'm pricing my heart out. It's not that chill for me.
Not that chill for you. Beth says, where in PA? Our store is located in Johnstown now, and our studio is in Ligonier, so Western Pennsylvania, about 60 miles east of Pittsburgh. Marion says, I only have a month to decide.
For voting.
Generally around here, we know very quickly who we're voting for.
Some of them
are
showing their true colors.
Yeah, some of them have definitely done that. But
just recently.
It happens sometimes, right?
Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh
well. Let them.
We'll vote for somebody else.
Right. Yeah, so we've got Gemstones tonight. On tomorrow, I'll be at my pottery class. So Andrew's going to start the live tomorrow with something. Who knows what? He's going to get up to. And then on Thursday, we'll also show something tomorrow, but who knows what yet. On Thursday, we have Harry Wood's Ceramics. So we will be doing Harry's show on Thursday. And that's what we've got planned so far for y'all. So hopefully you'll tune into Harry's show, and hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow. Wednesdays are usually our slowest nights. So hopefully you'll all tune in and hang out with us and see what Andrew gets up to. And then on Friday, undetermined yet. Friday's undetermined. Saturday, though, is our book club meeting. So I have it here. There it is. So inspired by reading book club, reading The Stone Witch of Florence. We read the book, and then since it's called Inspired by Reading, we make something inspired by the book. So we will get on Zoom on Saturday at 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll discuss the book, maybe.
6 to 8?
Yeah.
That's going to be awfully interesting. Are you going to watch from the store?
Huh?
They close at 6.
I know, but that's the time we picked. I don't know.
Well,
so
that's going to be real interesting.
You'll at least be here to start it. So 6 to 8 p.m. on Saturday, The Stone Witch of Florence, make something inspired by the book. We get together on Zoom to discuss the book a little bit, talk about what we're making, what inspired us in the book, and show our projects. If you've already got a project done, you can show your project and hang out. If you haven't started a project yet, which happens a lot, you can start your project. And if you're somewhere in between, you can continue working on your project. But that is this month's book. If it goes well and people like it, we might do another one in April. But Andrew's travel stuff, his travels, may determine when we have a book club for the month or not.
I'm busy April, May, so maybe in June.
Coming back in June a little bit.
Not in July, because I have one day off in between. I'm going to be driving directly from Maine to North Carolina. That's going to be interesting.
It's a long drive.
No, I'm like, I don't even get to stop at home.
Oh boy.
I don't think, because it's 12 hours from here to Maine. And then another 9 hours to North Carolina.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is. Kimberly says, I'm excited about learning more about Harry. He has shared some of my stuff. Nice. Harry's great. Sometimes he tunes in here. I don't know if I haven't seen his name pop up yet. I think he was here yesterday for a little bit. I found another of Harry's rabbits while looking for my bloodstones, says Marianne. Nice. Beth says, that's cool. I know those rabbits, they're multiplying. Let's see here. Dale's just joined us. Hello, Dale. Good evening. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us and, looking at some gemstones. I took a quick look through these gemstones earlier today, and we've got some good stuff coming up. I think the prices are going to be really good for y'all. So hopefully you'll like them. We only have a limited quantity. As many of you know, oops, I always take that banner down. There it is. Because we're a small business, we don't have the buying power that some very large businesses do. So while we would love to buy hundreds of the same strand and still give you low prices and still have an awesome, huge selection of things, we can't quite do that. So we buy in small quantities, but we buy a variety. We normally do 30 to 40 lots a night. We have 40 lots tonight of new gemstones, I believe. And there are only a few of each available. So it is first come, first serve. I'm going to put up the banner now. We'll talk about how you can purchase. To purchase from us, we give everything a lot number. And I don't know, did I give you I think we'll do maybe gem 1, G-E-M, gem. Gem 1, gem 2, gem 3. And those will be our lot numbers. And you take down that lot number, you put it in a subject line of an email or the body of an email, and you send it to info at allegorygallery.com. It's up here. It's also scrolling. Those directions are scrolling along here. Please, when you send those, send a new email each time. Don't reply to an old email to send another one. That groups everything together in our inbox, and you can miss out on things. Everything is first come, first serve. So if you see something you like, send an email right away. If you do send an email for it and you do get it, you are promising to take it. That's the way that works. We invoice at the end of the show. Once I do the spreadsheeting and get everything together, we'll send you out an invoice via Square. You can also send one email at the very end if you just want to put everything in one email, but that's how you can definitely miss out on things because some people may have gotten to them before you. So we don't take claiming in the comments, and that's just because we get comments from, like I said, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and it's very difficult to tell which came first if people were just saying claim me.
Well, it's easy for us, but after the fact, whenever we
it's still not even easy for us because we could look on here, and if three people on Facebook and one on YouTube and three on Instagram, because the Instagram comments don't filter in the same way either.
Well, we would just be the decider.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be bad.
But the thing is that when he does the spreadsheet, he doesn't do it as we go.
No.
And so if somebody watches on their replay, they can scoop. Yep.
Yeah, if you're watching the replay and somebody replays it and they send that comment in, it always puts that comment during the moment of the video. So they may have watched the day after, but their comment will pop up first.
Also, StreamYard doesn't necessarily save all the chats.
No, it does not. Michelle has joined us. Hello, Michelle. Lorraine has joined us. Hello, Lorraine.
It's been a minute.
I know. I feel like it has been a minute. How y'all doing?
Not Michelle.
Not Michelle, I know. Night. But Lorraine, how's everyone? Yeah, so that's that. If you are new and you're watching, please say hi in the comments. Like I said, I shared this to some Johnstown folks in some of the Johnstown groups and let them know we'd be going live. I shared this on my timeline. We shared in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group. If you haven't joined that group on Facebook, please check it out. Allegory Gallery Design Challenges. We have a lot of people who post in there. They post what they make using our components. And it's just a nice group of people, good group of people. If you're looking for some, like-minded makers and people that you can ask questions to and get, opinions on things, it's a really good group of people. Let's see. Susan is here. Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining.
Which Susan?
Susan Surreal.
Howdy.
Angela is here. Hello, Angela. Thank you for joining in. Got lots of people filtering in here now. Thank you all for hanging out with us.
How easy is it to turn the boxes on?
What boxes?
To add boxes to the online store.
Oh, pretty easy.
Can you add 3 more boxes?
3 more?
Yeah. So last night...
Somebody sent us an email for it. So do you just want to add 2 more?
Did you invoice them already?
No.
I don't know how you want to handle that.
That's what I was going to ask you, how you wanted to handle that. I can invoice them. That'll make it easy.
As long as it saves it in a way that you can have a paper trail.
Yeah, the invoice will be there. Sorry, everybody. We're going to do this on the fly here.
No, I think it's fun. So if you want one of those Day at the Beach boxes, he's adding them now. If you missed out, but they sold out the first go around, and we had a bunch of people asking for them. And we decided to add, I guess, 2 more.
So let's see here. Yes, I'm going to put in.
Well, that's on our website. That's allegorygallery.com.
Yeah, I'm going to put those in right now. Let me turn them. Let's save. Oh, should be saved. And they are active. let's go and make sure that that's on the home page too. Creek Designs by Susan Jewelry says, hello from New York. Hello. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining in. Sorry, we are just adding things to the online store right now.
On the fly.
On the fly. So if you missed out, we do something called a mystery box, and it's got mysterious things in it. They're fun. They're good. They're good stuff. A lot of times vintage strands, contemporary strands, gemstones. This one is
themed box.
Is a themed box. So if you do want one of those, they are now in the online store. So go to the online store, allegorygallery.com, and grab it now. I put it right on the home page. So they are on the home page.
I'm not making any more.
Andrew is not making any more. If you've already sent us an email yesterday, I will invoice you for it, but we've added 2 more right now to the online store, and you can grab them immediately right now. I'm not accepting any more emails for those at the moment, so they're already in the online store. Just go to buy them.
It makes it easier.
It makes it easier. So let's see. Sylvia says, hi, Andrew William. Your system of claiming via email makes sense, and it's easier for you to process. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Some of the other people who've come and visited the shop while we've done live sales with them, and they're like, oh my gosh, this makes it so much easier.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I think I'm going to switch to, and some of them have. They've switched to only doing emails.
Because it really does. Because sometimes, like, when we used to do it via comments, people would complain so hard.
Well, people would say, my comment's showing before this person's, but on our end, it doesn't. And then we'd have to have somebody like taking down the notes as the video screenshotting things. Yeah, it was, and that was when we were only streaming in one location.
And doing it like once a week.
Yeah, we do this live 5 days a week. We do it every weekday.
So we figured things out.
Yeah, and
it'd be nice to do something like comment sold or something, but the thing with that is that it costs a lot of money, and then
it's an added cost. We'd have to pass that on, of course.
So here's the thing: when the people say things like, "Oh, this doesn't," when they use it, they don't tell you the ads. It makes your stuff cost more.
Yeah, because there's a monthly fee to all that, and it's not cheap.
And not only that, but somebody has to upload all this stuff.
Yeah, it's sometimes it can tune in. We have Shopify. Somehow I think it can connect to Shopify, but in some time it still has to be uploaded and put in. Whereas we can kind of do this on the fly.
This
an
is
invoice.
More spontaneous.
Yeah.
So, like, if we say, "Oh, what do you want?" we can literally pull it
for you.
That, unless they're psychic or they're lying and doing some kind of magician trick.
I mean, it could be if it was in our online store, it'd be easier to pass along.
Then just buy in the online store.
Right.
What's that?
Right. So
I don't understand the benefit of that.
Yeah.
Besides
being able to be commented on in the comments, but like I said, it costs more.
And just buy it.
You'd have to. Those prices get passed on to someone, and you could just go to the online store and grab it and not have to worry about that.
I guess if you're trying to highlight a specific item,
it does allow you to hit a button and it shows you the little item, but it's, for us, it's not worth the added cost when we can do things easier and more cheaply for all of you and for us.
It'd be nice to have somebody who's dedicated to adding stuff online, but that's a one day someday.
That's a one day someday. We had that at one point, but
we'll be back again.
We'll be back again, right? Let's see. Who else? Anybody new out there? Anybody else out there?
I'm getting bored. Let's go and do the stuff already.
Oh, okay. We're flipping it around in under 35 minutes. This is rare, y'all. Creek Designs by Susan. Where in New York are you? Let's meet our new friends. Julie says, hi, just woke up. I fell asleep. Hello, Julie. You just got here in time. Andrew's flipping it around real quick tonight.
Well, sometimes it's nice to just get straight to it.
We rarely do that,
sometimes
y'all.
these things last several hours. And
Kimberly says, "Wow, Andrew, we bore you now." Haha. Just kidding.
sometimes it's not as much fun when we do this like this every night. And we ask this we just ask where people live.
Where people live.
That we
always say that it does help when there's audience participation. Always helps when you let us know what's going on, what's happening, when comments come in. And if not,
then may have to. Do you have a bag of bigger bags?
I do not have a bag. Oh wait, I do have a bag of bigger bags.
Yeah, you never have to worry about me
not telling it.
You.
Andrew will tell it. Michelle says it's a sleepy day, tired from all the work we've been doing. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of work, moving things, adding things.
You said you got a new bed, right?
New bed, new dressers.
Let's punch it.
Hubby had a good doctor appointment. That's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We're punching it here. All right, everybody.
These are introductory prices.
Introductory pricing.
And I think these ones will go to the store because we haven't done a refresh at the store for a minute. So I'm not going to put like the retail and then the discounts. Usually we do that.
Yeah.
But that's just too much math. I'd just rather just give you the price.
Just the price.
And we'll post these. We'll put these directly in the physical location because we haven't had a refresh there for a minute.
Yeah, and the prices will go up. We give you
not a lot,
but you viewers always get a better price. This is a 16-inch strand. This is a rough amethyst cylinder, approximately 10 millimeters by about 15 to 15 and a half millimeters. Kimberly says, "That's why I'm here. You and Andrew are transparent and tell it how it is." Yeah.
Well, I try. For better or for worse.
So this is Gem 1, $18 only. Beautiful amethyst.
I think that'd be so cool. Just put it in one and put it on a head pin and maybe put a really cool spacer, like disc spacer at the top and at the bottom. And then you have a really cool kind of like modern but kind of rustic.
So there are 3 of these available. Gem 1.
Now, I know this is not going to be for everybody. Some people who like the bling bling time, that's not going to be their flavor.
Yeah.
And
I love this kind of matte rough stuff.
And you know what? Rough stuff is not easy to find. So I had a bag. And they said, okay, we'll go and dig around and see what we can find. And so we finally got some different, more rustic. Because I love the way that gems, like I love gemstones. And I love the way they come out the earth and the ground. And there's something like there's kind of like this earthy elegance to them.
Yeah. Susan says, "Not the best days. My dad-in-law fell and will be in rehab for a while."
Oh, no.
Sorry to hear that, Susan. Hopefully all is going to be okay. Donna says, "I love the type of gemstone too." Gem 2 Prehnite. Beautiful rough prehnite. But in this,
kind of in this tube shape.
Kind of a tube shape, a faceted tube shape. Gem 2, $18 a strand only.
Now they are cut this way. This isn't, they don't come out the ground like that.
No. These are about 15-inch strands. Kim says, "Wow.
Aren't those fun?
Aren't these nice?" Really nice prehnite.
I think you could do some really cool things with these.
Yeah. Each one of these could be like a pendant, like Andrew said.
Or like a bracelet bar kind of
Yeah,
style.
that'd be awesome.
Or color block it like how William does with his long wrap bracelet. Just little chunks, sections of these like earthy.
9.2 approximately by 14.
But they're all over the place.
Yeah, that's just one of them. But you can see there's shorter ones, longer ones. Gem 2, $18.
Isn't that pretty?
Super pretty. I love, look at that. Look at the
Epidote,
right? Epidote.
And it's green and looks like grass, but it blazes. Epidote.
Beautiful. Gem 2.
Nope.
Nope, not yet.
That's always the first ones. I always feel bad for them.
I know. Donna says the green amethyst crystals I have from AG are matte and rough, and I absolutely love them.
Aren't they cool?
Yeah.
That's something that you're not going to see just anywhere.
Right. All right. What do we got coming up next? Black tourmaline. Who doesn't need a little black tourmaline in their life? Especially nowadays. These are a shorty strand.
They're a little bit more expensive than the other strands that are similar of this variety.
But these are nice. This matte, look at this. Matte black tourmaline, chunky nuggets.
Now, if you want more natural black tourmaline, we have more black tourmaline coming up later tonight.
I love the look of this. It's not normally the shiny Gesundheit. It's not that shiny black tourmaline you normally get.
I love that.
I do too, but this is so different. So there are 3 strands of these. Gesundheit.
Thanks. I wonder if the weather is turning.
I don't know. Donna says, I had never seen or heard of green amethyst.
It's called prasiolite.
Prasiolite. So these are approximately about 9 millimeters by about 14. Marianne says lumps of charcoal. They kind of have that look, but it's black tourmaline. Wards away the bad. Oh, Gesundheit. Wards away the bad. Bad energy. Keeps the bad energy away. Black tourmaline.
It's sending me away.
It's sending you away. You got bad energy tonight? So there are 3 strands available, and they're $14 a strand. $14 a strand only. Gem 3. Kimberly says green amethyst is amazing, isn't it? It's so pretty. I love it. Of course, I love green, and amethyst is my birthstone, so it's doubly good for me. Doubly good for me. All right, this is some pretty rose quartz in this shape, which I love. And these strands are about 16 inches, 16-inch strand, faceted tube shape, rose quartz, and it is nice and pink, y'all. It's even looking pink on the camera, and when that's rare. Cameras often make the pink look less pink. And for whatever reason, we think it might be the blue sapphire lenses they use that kind of dyes it down. But this looks pink, really pink. So you know in person it's extra pink. Marianne says, blah, pink. I know, you don't like pink. But rose quartz is a really good stone. Good for heart health. Good for a lot of things. Very powerful energy in rose quartz. $18 a strand, and this is such a cool look. I could see these in earrings.
Wouldn't that be cool with the other ones?
Mm-hmm.
Like mix and match.
Mix and match, like some amethyst, maybe some amethyst with
you
that.
Know what I would do personally?
What would you do personally?
I'd get a little bit of Renaissance black.
Oh.
Lightly buff it.
Lightly buff it?
Uh-huh.
What'll that do?
It will kind of give it a more
Ah, you do like the satin look. Look at that together. That's really pretty. That's the pre-night. That was gem 2 for the pre-night.
It goes with the shirt.
It does. I'm wearing one of my rough and tumble vintage shirts.
Indeed.
Suzanne has joined us. Hello, Suzanne. Thank you for joining us today.
People who are regulars are like, what happened? Why are you
I know. Why have
why
you
are
started
showing
already?
that?
What happened?
Is somebody sick? Usually we talk about cats or.
Lennis just awoke from a nap. Hello, Lennis.
How was your surgery?
Said it went well. I saw. Hopefully you're still doing well. I know you said you were getting a little sore. Hopefully all is going well.
And last night, did you all see last night? The Czech Glass show?
Yeah, the Czech Glass show was good. If you missed last night's show, we had mixed lots and Czech Glass. And there's still some Czech Glass available. So if you're looking for some, make sure you check a replay of last night's show. Got good prices on the Czech Glass. And that Czech Glass is contemporary Czech Glass. Some of them use old vintage molds, but it is contemporarily made. We often do vintage Czech Glass as well in our shows, but that was all new Czech Glass to us. Gen 4.
I know this is technically a Gemstone, but I couldn't pass them up. All right, let me dish some tea real quick. Lay down some truth.
Dishing the tea, laying the truth.
So one of my favorite shows to go to in Tucson is the African Arts Village. I love that show, and I've been going to Tucson off and on for about 20 years now. Hard to believe, I know, since I look so young. Anyways, there are a couple vendors there that I don't really hassle them, but we have a playful relationship where I love African beads and trade beads, and sometimes those strands are like $4,000.
Yes.
And I'm like, can I buy just one?
Just one bead.
One bead.
Off that $4,000 strand.
And they seem to think it's amusing. Anyways, they have some opalescent beads that they call moon beads. Moon beads. These are not them.
These are not them.
But I kind of want to stick them in the tumbler and let them be.
And let them be like moon beads.
I kind of have this idea that what I'll do is like make this like chamber baking soda and put it in the kiln and then heat it up. So that makes the surface a little bit crusty. Basically, I'm telling you how to cheat. And then stick it in like the tumbler for a while, let it get banged up and chipped up a little bit. And then put on some like brown wax or something and then wipe them down. And then have the perfect ancient moon beads since I can't afford the big ones.
These are about 8 by 12 and they have a 2.5 millimeter large hole. And you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them for $6. And they are opaline.
And if you want to put that on the leather, don't be afraid.
Right? Don't be afraid.
Hey, will this silver silk work? Test it.
No.
It's too big?
I can already tell.
Just try it. Is it too big? Too big?
Way too big.
Way How about this one?
Yeah, the silver silk is 3. It's about a millimeter too big.
They have it smaller, I think. But here, try this one. This is Greek leather.
Whoa!
That works great. Look at it picking up the color from the inside. Oh, that's a great earring design just as it is. Just put it in a little what they call them, ribbon end. Smush it closed.
Smush it closed.
Add an ear wire.
Done. Suzanne's asking, is there a difference between opalite and opaline?
One is a bar that I used to work in New York. No. In theory, it's the same thing. It's just the manufacturer. Wine, I think, is like the technical name.
Opaline. And then they probably made opalite to sound like more like a stone.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
To my knowledge, they're both synthetic stones that are supposed to look like opals.
Yeah. We often call things opalite. This vendor calls them opaline. There you go. Gem 5. Danette says, I need to finish watching last night's. I really like Check Glass.
Well, at the end, it's not. It's mixed lots, but you should still watch it.
There's some really nice mixed lots last night,
All right. Now, so I talked about my love of opalescent glass, and if he comes to the cottage, you know I have a secret cabinet of opalescent glass.
Do you?
Yeah, you do. He acts surprised.
Do you?
He acts like he don't know me. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe I'm a stranger. Like what they call them, the people that change their face.
Who's changing their face?
Them scroll or whatever.
Oh.
If you watch that kind of show. So, anyways, one of the other beloveds is Herkimer Diamonds.
Oh, I don't think I saw Herkimer Diamonds.
These ones are these ones are from Pakistan, so they're not from New York.
Sometimes I think they call them Pacamers.
I don't know anybody who says that, but Herkimer Diamonds are basically double terminated, so double pointy beads.
Double pointy.
That are naturally occurring. These aren't cut after the fact.
Marion says a secret Janus Andrew. Janus, Janus.
The god?
Janus Andrew.
Wow, what? Two-faced?
I don't know. That's Secret Andrew. Secret Janus Andrew. Changing your face.
Oh, I don't know. I hope not. Maybe if it's like really good looking. These are not a cheap date, but
Marion says yes, the god.
I like them, so
he got them. Hopefully you will like them too.
Because I love them. One time I was out in Tucson, and I probably went to, I don't know how many vendors I went to, but we went to this dusty parking lot in this like Hojo hotel, and it was how you call not high class looking place.
Not a high class looking place.
It's like a 1-star review on the what you call it. But the vendors there were so cool.
That's
and
good.
One of them was a Herkimer Diamond vendor, and I must have stayed there for like an hour trying to pick out my favorites. Because
one of those beach boxes just sold.
Thanks.
So there's one left. Thank you so much. Susie just joined us. Susie Y, thank you for joining in. Hope everything is going great for you.
I know you like gemstones.
Yeah, you do. Who doesn't like gemstones?
Some people, they like other stuff more.
Ted McDonough had joined on Instagram, but is, I think, still not here.
We watched him do a presentation at ECU.
Yeah, we did.
On the Mocha Magane.
Mocha Magane. Marion says, changing faces when the screen went black. The screen went black? I didn't know the screen went black.
Because I entered the room.
I know, right? What is going on? What are you doing? So these are big. Look at these.
So these are naturally occurring like this. And they are super dang sparkly.
They are sparkly, and these are very clear. This is really high quality.
You
Nice.
know QFem Gray?
Mm-hmm.
She was telling me about how she went to the Herkimer Diamond place, and so basically you can rent these lots that they mark off with like a tape, like a caution tape, and you can dig in that area. And she says she's digging. She couldn't find anything, digging. So eventually she went on the road and like hiked back up to the road, and there are these trucks, and they kept and they were dropping crystals on the road. So she kept following the truck and was picking them up as they were dropping them off the truck.
Nice.
And she got a lot of them too.
Now, we had some of these in our Tucson show, but they are tinier. They're probably a third of this size. These are nice big pieces. Marianne says, oh my, those are amazing.
Aren't they?
Yeah, these are very crystal clear, not a lot of black in them. Sometimes you see a lot of the black in them.
That's called tourmalated.
And tourmalinated and terminated. Double terminated. So you got the double pointy, double Terminator, double pointy beads, and beautiful. That's how they grow, and they're collected like that. They're not shaped by hand like that. They grow in nature like that. And so those are $36 a strand. They are 8-inch strands, and there are 3 of them available. These are showing as 5 to 6 millimeter. They're saying 5 to 6, but some of these are 8 millimeter. The majority of them on here, though, are about, well, there's 7 millimeter, 8 millimeter. Some of these strands are a little bit different. 6.5.
Did you get
6.9. Yep, got one. One of these have sold. Mary Schwartz has joined us. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. 7.5 millimeters. So between 6 to about 9 millimeters, depending on the stone. Really nice quality. 8-inch strands. $36 a strand. One sold so far. 2 of them still available. Gem 6. Gem 6.
She was one of my first metals teachers.
Mm-hmm. She came here and taught for us.
And for a long time, I just had a butane torch.
Yeah. She showed you how to use it good.
I didn't even have a saw.
No, no.
Believe it or not. I did have a file. I had a file, German shears, and that little tripod thing, and a butane torch.
These are black tourmaline, but they're like a whiskey. Davrite.
Hit it with the black light. See if it does anything. Because the Davrites are usually sometimes color change, but those are so dark that you may not.
They've got glitter. I don't know if you can see this. They've got like glitter in them. It's so wild. It's hard to see. I don't think you're going to see it on camera. They're really cool.
That to me. I don't want to see. I'm going to show it. Don't get my eyes. Those are the money makers. But the little sparks. The little orange sparks.
Isn't it cool?
The white is probably
debris. Stone debris. Look at that. Look how beautiful those are. The Davrite tourmaline.
And these grow like this. This is how they grow.
And they're $28 a strand. They're 8-inch strands. And these are some pretty hefty nuggets. Oh, we just sold another Gem 6. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It means there's only one of those available, and we just sold a Gem 4 as well. It's one of the rose quartz. So there are 2 of those still available. Thank you so much.
How much are those ones?
Which ones? These 28. So this was 14 millimeters approximately by 27.5, we'll say. But that's, as you can see, they all differ. They're just big, lovely nuggets.
Those I would say is more for like focal.
Yeah.
Or if you're gonna make like talisman bags or something, or that.
Yeah, it would be. I think
that as a bracelet.
I know. I'm tempted just to make a bracelet out of that myself.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got? Oh, he's gonna put this with the allegory gallery.
Restring it.
Yeah, just restring it.
Spacers and all.
Yeah, look, you use those little spacers in there. Put that with a gold clasp or toggle.
How about that?
Beautiful.
Looks expensive.
It does look. That looks rich.
Like bougie Betty Rubble.
Bougie Betty Rubble. There you go. You want to be bougie?
Betty or no? What's her name?
Wilma.
Wilma. She had the pearl. Which one are the pearls?
I think they both had something. I can't remember who had what though. It's been so long. But look at that. Davrite, tourmaline.
Nope, you don't want it as big as this. The next one coming up.
Ooh.
They're half about that size.
Ooh.
You may have sensed a theme.
A theme? Did you have a theme?
I picked a lot of stuff that's like more natural and less over the top.
But interesting choices on some of them. Like, where do you see? You don't see Davrite tourmaline very often at all.
No.
And there are smaller pieces of it here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted, I would love, like, get one of these strands for the earrings and get one of the previous strands for the pendant.
Or mix them so you have a variation of size.
Mm-hmm. But if you did one pendant and one pair of earrings, you're getting a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pairs of earrings and at least 7 pendants or so. 8 pendants. Beautiful color in these.
Now, a lot of these, the strands, I also try to give people some really good deals too. So I know that with our Tucson picks, they're worth it, but they were a little bit more on the spendy side.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody has a customer for that.
Right.
So with these ones, I try to do a big price range. And I also try to find half strands for folks, because we had some people say that they only needed half a strand of something.
Yep.
So I did try to find that for folks, so that y'all can have a little bit of a deal on that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't need a whole.
No, and you don't want to pay for a whole strand.
Mm-hmm. Like us, you'd rather have a variety.
Mm-hmm. Gem 9. These are fun. These are the shorty strands, amethyst, and you get coins and squares on these. Shorty strand, coins and squares, and these are approximately about 12.5 millimeters.
And we call them shorty strands, but they're 8 inches.
Yeah. By about 3.5 millimeters. Yeah, our shorty strands are 8-inch strands generally.
Sometimes people call this stuff shorty strands. It's like 2 inches.
It's like 2 inches, 4 inches. Yeah. So these are half strands, or what a strand used to be 16 inches. They're not always that anymore.
No, they're gone down to 14 inches.
Yeah.
And some spacers.
So these are a little over a modern half strand.
I like that there's a mix of shapes on them.
I do too. I like that you get both shapes. You get the squares, you get the coins.
It's almost already designed. Those
Right.
look design interlude. They would look good with some white pearls, I think.
You don't have any white pearls up here. Bruh, you got white pearls?
This is not an 8-inch strand.
No, that is not an 8-inch strand.
This one here is like a 40-50 strand.
It's It's a long strand. But look how great those would look. Oh, we've got 30 people watching. If you're out there, please say hi. Thanks for joining in. Wouldn't that be pretty together?
And that's one that you could go any metal, really.
Yeah.
So
you got
think of
the
it,
gold.
you could do gold.
You can start to pull out some of those gold tones and some of that amethyst. You can do...
Well, so I would say you're picking out the gold tones. You'd pick out the contrast.
Contrast.
Yellow is contrast to purple on the color wheel.
Okay. He's gonna get artsy on me.
Correct.
For those of you who know those terms.
Pick out the gold in the pearls and make them a little bit warmed up.
Okay. There's silver with it.
If you want the silver, you get that kind of cooler, a little bit more glacial vibe. Give you a little bit of a shiver.
Chris just got here. Thank you for joining us, Chris. Thanks for hanging out.
If you want to have...
where are y'all from if you're new? Let us know.
If you have the copper, if you have a copper in there, you could do gunmetal if you want it to have a very kind of stark. So there's all kinds of
Kimmy says, sorry, still here watching while eating some supper. Thank you for watching.
Why are you sorry?
Yeah, don't be sorry. You're still here. We like it.
Correct.
We like it.
I would tell you if I didn't want you around.
Right? Kentucky. Chris from Kentucky.
We're in Kentucky.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Chris Moorhan. Hoey? Haughey. I have no idea how to pronounce that. But thank you for joining us.
Is Norma here?
Is Norma with
Kentucky? It's like a seance.
No, Norma is here. Yes, Norma is here.
Nicholas Sunville.
Let's see. We just sold one of the Gem 8s. That's one of the smaller Davrite tourmaline strands. Thank you so much. 2 of those still available. What do we got coming up next?
You have to clear your area.
I know. Here, give me that bag right there.
Do you not want this?
Either way.
Here, take this so it's out of my orbit.
These are orders.
I know. Good job.
Yeah, thank you all for your orders. We appreciate it so much. Do this packed up so I can make room.
And then CDs. And then CDs. That's not an order.
No.
That's mine.
I know. What do you want me to do with them? You're saying seed beads. That's what I'm putting things in. And then you're like, and then the seed beads. I'm like, I don't go in there. But
it gets lost.
Okay.
Into the universe.
Well, don't lose them into the universe.
Well, then I'll be like, where are my seed beads?
You would be like that. And I'd be like, you lost them into the universe.
Exactly so. He said, I don't know.
I don't know what you did with your seed beads.
Because he packed it up.
Here, make sure you take these back too.
Here goes my pearls.
Your pearls that almost didn't get taken back.
Correct.
Somerset, Kentucky. Yeah, I married that last name. It's pronounced Hoggy. Hard G. Okay, Hoggy. Chris Moran Hoggy. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. We like new friends. We like making friends. So these are sodalite, and they are those same coins and square strands, 8-inch strands. This is a really particularly nice sodalite. You know, sometimes people don't like sodalite, but I don't know why.
I like it.
I love sodalite. I think it's so pretty. People
be good for your creativity.
Yeah, I think people they don't think of it as a high-end gemstone, but you know,
then they need
to reevaluate. No, but also you don't need that all the time for everything.
Well, get your nose out the air.
Right. We don't need to be uppity like that.
Highfalutin.
Highfalutin. We ain't highfalutin.
I'm in this. I want a mentorship.
Look at this.
With this artist in Italy, and there's other people in the cohort, and we're talking about these books, and some of the books we were talking about.
Is that what you talk about in your groups? Your books?
Wow.
He's been sharing some memes about his books lately.
Wow.
And
They
videos.
were talking about these books. I was like, y'all more highfalutin than me because I'm not reading that. Let me just tell you.
Oh, yeah, Andrew is.
And then the truth came out. Some of them as well partake of the fairy smut.
The fairy smut books. Oh
Correct.
my, that's what Andrew's been finding, all these memes and videos of his fairy, they call it the fairy smut books.
I laughed myself hoarse.
It is funny. These are 12 millimeters. We've sold one of these so far. Thank you so much. We've got 3 of them available total, so there's 2 of them left.
Not everybody
Gem10.
appreciates the fairy smut jokes.
No.
Let me just say.
No. If you're just tuning in and you're like, how do I get any of these things? Take down the lot number, which is the gem number. Put it in an email, address that email to info@allegorygallery.com, and hit send. That's all you got to do. First come, first serve. We only take claims by email because it works the best for us, and it's easily timed out. We know who got what. That's how we do it, and we've actually influenced other people to do it that way too.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right. Ooh, what is this?
Rhodonite.
Rhodonite. Some of y'all like that rhodonite. This is not for Marianne.
Why not? That's more natural.
That's more natural? You like that pink, Marianne?
That's not Barbie pink.
That is not Barbie pink. This is beautiful rhodonite though. Look at these patterns. For like such small stones, they are like mini paintings. Sometimes the rhodonite is like kind of bland. But,
or look like organ meat.
Or looks like organ meat. But these have such interesting. Even Andrew likes these ones.
Usually that's rhodochrosite that I think looks like a bunch of piles of bacon.
Yeah, that's true.
They had this haul of rhodochrosite in Tucson one year, and it looked like a nightmare horror show. Like they had these animals that were carved out of rhodochrosite. And it looked like they had the skin peeled off.
Oh.
And some of them, they put put like these red stones in the eyes, so they look like zombie.
Oh my goodness!
I said, who thought this was a good idea?
Marianne says rhodonite is passable for her.
I said, if that's what you like, do it.
Right.
And then do it times 10.
Look how good of a bracelet that would be. That's just done. Just put a toggle on that or a lobster claw and be done.
All they need to do is put a blood packet in this fountain.
Donna says, oh, yuck. Marion says, that is a good name for a certain group of fairy books.
The fairy smut?
Fairy smut.
Oh my gosh. I did not know of such thing. And then I was watching...
And then he probably went down the rabbit hole and all that.
Of course. But I started watching this thing called Google Box.
Google Box.
That's the one I sent you about Judith.
Oh.
So it's basically different British people watching TV. And it captures their true-to-life reactions to the shows that they're watching.
True-to-life reaction. It's funny.
I'm sure they act up a little bit.
Of course. But the people on the TV were acting up a little bit, too. That was funny. I laughed
myself hoarse again. They had another one.
Ooh, for you carnelian lovers. Look at this gemmy.
And some of them are pretty clever. Some of them is just like base reaction.
Yeah.
And
look at this gemmy carnelian in these coins and squares. These should be about 12 millimeter again. Yep, 12 millimeter. Donna says British comedy is so funny. This is actual people, British people in their homes reacting to things.
It's just like if
it's like if you just recorded us watching TV. It wouldn't. I don't think we'd be that funny.
Speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself, he says.
I have it.
He has a gift. I knew that's what was coming out. See, I do know you. Well, look at this one particularly. Nice. Look at these. Oh, right there. And right there. Those are the 2 for me. But then maybe this one right there, because I really like that too. And, ooh, I like that one. Ooh, ooh. I like this flavor right here too. And then on this one, I like this one. I love, 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 love that one.
But you know, some of the TV that is out nowadays is pretty wild.
And that one. And that one.
And so they have a show called Naked Attraction.
Yeah, they do.
Basically, it's like the Love Connection, but nickety doo-dah.
Yeah. Yeah, they show you all the parts of the person.
And you know what?
But I think that's come to the U.S. too. I think it's either on Netflix or one of those things that some of those older seasons have come to the U.S. too.
I think they blur them out.
Do they?
Over there, they don't blur.
No, they do not blur it out over there.
Some of it they blur because there was this doctor, a urologist doctor, that they had a show about, which I did not even know existed, but apparently there is a genre of shows. And they blur everything out except for some of the open wounds.
Ooh.
And so there's all these people like screaming and hollering. I laughed pretty hard.
So that was Gem 12 for the Carnelian. Julie says there used to be a show called The People's Couch. Same premise.
I don't know what that is.
Michelle says, OMG, hubby is comical watching TV. Donna says, William, don't drool on the beads. I know, right? Marion says, the British like to let their freak flag fly. Well,
they did on
that one.
I laughed myself hoarse. William was having a hard day, so I sent him some amusement.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. All right, everyone. This is probably one of the lowest prices for Larimar that you are going to find these days.
These are nice.
These are very nice. We have a lot of Larimar that's just the blue and white. I actually really like it with some of the browns.
And those ones get chipped a little bit easier. These ones, I didn't see any chips.
This is beautiful Larimar. Only $34 a strand. These are the 8-inch strands. They're about 8.5 millimeter smooth rounds. Smooth-ish rounds. Because of the softness of Larimar, it's not always perfectly smooth. Very rarely is it. And so you can see they're a little bit dimply, which I really like too. And you may or may not know, Larimar is harder and harder and harder to come across these days.
They said the mine's closed in the Dominican Republic because it keeps flooding. Because of all the hurricanes they get slammed one after the other. So the mines would drain out, and then apparently they're so bad that they just are not going to do it anymore.
Dangerous, probably.
I'm sure there's somebody
out there doing it.
Squeezing themselves down a hole.
Right.
Greasing them up with some Crisco.
So again, these are about 8 millimeter rounds in Larimar. Gem 13, $34 a strand. Nice quality. There's some really gemmy pieces in here. And that beautiful blue. And I really like these. I might keep one of those, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be a good little bracelet.
And Larimar, you can charge a premium for these days.
William must have his own jewelry line. What would y'all call it?
Oh, name my jewelry line, everybody. Name my jewelry line. Wow, this is a good price.
I know what I would call mine. But I'm not going to say it in case somebody tries to snatch it. I'm actually going to do it.
We sold one of the Gem 13s, the Larimar. Thank you so much. Ooh, look at this.
I basically have something that's almost free considering what it is coming up.
This is aquamarine rondelles. Really pretty. This is a really great price, everybody. $18 for those strands. $18 for the strands of aquamarine rondelles. And these strands are 16-inch strands. There are 3 of them available. Donna says, yeah, the mines are closed. Glad we went when we did to the Dominican Republic, and I bought a set from a trusted shop.
Oh, good.
That's good. Let me show you some of these other ones, too.
So it is becoming more scarce. And there are more fakes now.
Yes.
So
that's why Donna says the trusted shop.
Because there's some people, they just put blue glass and then they call it Larimar.
And so these are about 6 to 7 millimeter, 6.5 millimeter. Yes, I'm going to say average 6.5 millimeter rondelles. Smooth rondelles. 3 of them available. Gem 14, only $18. $18. All right. I like those. I'm really liking this. Well, I love beryl, which is what aquamarine is. If you know me, you know that. And this, yeah, and it's usually a kind of a pastel kind of color in pastels, and I love pastels. Oh my goodness.
I told you I was going to have a good deal for y'all.
$16. Even our vintage ones, we can't charge that.
Correct.
So this is what? Pink and blue tourmaline.
The little pebbles.
Little pebbles. Pink and blue tourmaline.
I love those.
So nice.
I think those are so pretty. And I, of course, would put little gold spacers in between. Because that's my flavor.
Yep. Only $16 a strand. You know, if you follow us often, you know we often do a lot of vintage strands and vintage things. And sometimes we can get the prices lower because we do the buyouts and all that. But I don't think we could price this at $16 normally. So these are awfully good deals.
Can find it. That's the other thing.
Yeah. You wouldn't see generally something. We don't come across this very often. This is a good catch. Pink and blue tourmaline, only $16 a strand for these little pebbles.
I've known these vendors a long time.
These are about 5 millimeter pebbles.
They had, back in the day, they had this horse kind of, what do you call that? Like a trailer?
Oh, yeah.
And they had the beads in the horse trailer.
In the horse trailer?
And I went and visited that one time outside of Gainesville. They don't live there anymore. And I almost got the heat stroke digging around in that horse barn.
Look how pretty these are all together. Look at that. We've sold one of these so far. Thank you so much. We've got 2 of them still available.
Aren't they nice?
They are really nice.
I think whoever got them will be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, they look even better in person.
You know what they kind of remind me of? Fruity Pebbles.
I was just going to say that because...
but like a good way.
Yeah, I've been buying more cereal lately, and I keep going by the Fruity Pebbles in the aisle, and that's what it reminds me of, the Fruity Pebbles.
Charlie watching?
Charlie, not yet that I see.
There's so many names over there.
Yeah, people probably hit the thing and then checked out because it's not saying anyone is still with us. American Duarte, Bright Joe, Checo Guzar, Laura Sauter Studio, Ted McDonough, and Jillian K. Design had joined us on Instagram at one point, but maybe didn't hang around, or at least hasn't said hi yet. Pop Rocks, says Marianne. Yes, they look like Pop Rocks. Norma says, I've been resisting, but you got me with the tourmaline.
Just wait.
I have to see. I haven't gotten your email yet.
Just wait.
Wonder if I'm getting... I better check the spam.
You know what? Guess what? If you love tourmaline like how I love tourmaline, which is deep and abiding, and a passion that can be not matched. Well,
an unmatched passion.
Yeah, I'll wax poetically about the tourmaline. There's some goodies coming up.
Yeah, I haven't seen your email yet, Norma.
Maybe our email is catching up.
Yeah, there might be things still catching up.
I hope
It seems to be slow lately.
I hope, because
And you did have internet issues.
These are some good.
These are good deals.
And we only got 3 of each, and I do not think I can get the prices again.
Yeah.
Unless I maybe request Charlie to bake some cookies.
How's that? Oh, pass those cookies on. Bribe people with cookies.
Correct.
It shows sent on my end. Yeah, it's still saying checking for email down here. I don't know what's going on.
That's Mercury.
Look at, it is Mercury retrograde. Rainbow tourmaline rounds.
These are usually 16 a strand, but I make it.
You made a 12?
Correct.
What? These are smooth rounds, and these are 2 millimeter. Hello, Sandra.
You missed some stuff, Sandra.
Sandra, you better look. Yeah, we didn't do our normal hour and a half talk, so we're already on.
New people, so I kind of wanted to jump into it, so they didn't get like, oh well,
bored out of their mind.
Leg hair, and then
tiny jemmies, says Kimberly.
Those ones are awesome as spacers. Let me tell you.
Look
people
at
are
that.
Like, what kind of seed bead is that? I said it's not a seed bead.
It's a gemstone. But can you imagine if you did seed bead pattern these into an earring of some sort?
Oh, I did that.
Oh,
you forgot,
bro. Where?
You forgot.
I did
the tourmaline. I use those little microfacets.
Oh yeah, you did that. But think of
right ankle.
But these are different because they're so.
These would be easier because these ones, the holes are a little bit more ample.
Sandra says, I wasn't sure if I should come.
Are you scared?
Are you scared?
Like Temptation Island.
What is going on? Let me check my junk again. Not having.
Didn't get. Check his junk.
Right? I got
junk folder.
Junk folder. Yes, the spam. Yeah, because we still didn't get it, and it's done searching for the email.
Check your email again, Norma.
She said it was in the sent folder.
Are you sure you didn't type allegory? Sometimes people do that.
People don't do allegory gallery, right? I've done that I have done that. I like to use them at the bottom of earrings as fringe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Kimberly said that.
Those little fishies. Oh my gosh, those white fish.
And only $12 a strand. And these strands are...
Those white fish from last night.
Oh, those would be cool with this.
I know. You think I don't make ever jewelry ever?
These are about 16-inch strands. Let me see. Where's the white fish from yesterday? That was number... What did I do with them? Number 2, I think.
They may be a little bit big.
No, number 3.
I think if you did like a beaded net.
Let's see here. So these were the fish. And check these out. Gesundheit.
Thanks. Wouldn't a beaded net with those... I saw some come in.
Yeah, that wasn't Norma's though. So, Norma, we still didn't get yours.
Uh-oh.
And so far, 2 of these have sold out. We'll have to reserve the one for Norma. Because for some reason, we're not getting it. Try and send another email, Norma. Yeah, look at these. They're perfect with this. We only have 1 strand of these left from last night.
With that AB finish on it?
Yeah, what were these called? These were the GT3 were the fish. GT3.
GT?
Norma, just send another one, quick.
Mm-hmm.
She said it definitely shows I sent it. You know, we didn't get it. I want to make sure we're getting your emails. Hopefully we're getting people's emails tonight.
Somebody had an issue one time about their emails were getting sent back.
Mm-hmm. Anna said, hi, all late to the party. Hi, Anna. You're missing some good stuff.
Almost 20 lots.
I know.
But imagine doing like a beat.
But look at the, look how.
I called it. Well,
oh, look at that.
Like I didn't know that would be a good
that would be a good mix.
He's like,
look at it. Look how good it is.
He's all like surprised. They like it. They really like it.
I don't know if they like it, but I do. What do y'all think out there? You like that combo?
I saw.
Okay, got the second time. Got the second time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I wonder if there's like a typo.
And that was, let's see. Yeah, those.
Oh.
Sanders sent us a test. Thank you. Yours came through. We just got another one for these. So 16, these have sold out. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Another one.
Getting some test emails. That's
And
a test email. One. So this is, let's see. We got one, two. We have two. We have one of 15. Those were those little pebble tourmalines. We have one of those left, and 16. This one has sold out. Thank you so much. I can't actually
see what's being sent, but I see the line getting new
lines. That's a test email. That's a test email. People are trying to test it. I'm keeping going. I'm keeping going. You're distracting me. Chris says, I love it. Isn't it nice? Great match with the fish. Anna asked, did my email come through? Yes, Anna, your email came through. Thank you. So the fish, if you want it from last night, the fish, we only have one strand left. It's GT3. It's $6 for the whole strand on these beautiful fish.
You want to have a prize?
A prize?
Or should we wait till 20?
Let's wait till 20 at least. Do some giveaways. We like to give you stuff. What are you giving now here?
Ooh. I'm not giving nothing for that.
No, these are that price is a good giveaway price.
Pretty much it's free almost.
For this?
Considering what it is.
Yeah. Get ready, everybody.
You may have to sit down if you're
sit down, right? So this is the blue tourmaline in the microfaceted blue tourmaline. These are faceted rondelles, microfaceted, about 3.3 millimeters. Mary Jane says, are the fish glass? Yes, they are Czech glass from the Czech Republic. All last.
Like the glass.
I know you like the glass.
Not vintage.
If you
using vintage molds.
Yeah, some of them, those are vintage molds. I don't know if you saw the show yesterday, but the whole show, not the whole show. We had mixed lots yesterday as well, but the first part of the show was modern contemporary Czech glass. Some of them made with vintage molds, though. So if anybody missed that show yesterday, check out the Czech glass show yesterday. Susan's sneezing and sniffling here. Spring has sprung.
I've been sneezing.
You've been sneezing a lot.
But I also think that the weather may be changing.
Look at this blue tourmaline.
Hopefully for the little bit warmer. I went out for a second today and I was like, no.
Yeah, it was pretty chilly today.
It was beautifully sunny.
It was very sunny.
And lovely, but cold.
Michelle says it's already hot here.
No,
over in LA. Nah, we don't want hot yet. Look at this.
Warm.
If you love,
we do middle.
How about do the middle of the road for a while?
I need, because I was going to go and do some of the flower beds today, and then I was like, no.
Yeah. I wore like 3 shirts today to stay warm.
They had one of our neighbors, they had their kids out doing the community garden. I was like, there's no way. It's almost freezing.
Well, you know what? Today, 3 different people I watched along the side of the road were cleaning up the stones that enter into the driveway from the tar and chip that they do. Mm-hmm. 3 different people were out there with either brooms or
you need to do that.
Or the blowers, the leaf blowers, blowing the one. I drove through a dust storm because somebody was blowing it along the highway.
That sounds not safe.
It was not great, yeah. But it was just weird that 3 separate houses were doing that today. Just picked today.
Surprise me at all.
Let's see. Marian says it was great spring weather here, but winter is supposed to return tomorrow night. Sigh.
Keep it. You know, there was one of my friends who were like, "Oh, the blessing of snow." I said, "You can keep all the blessings."
Right. I don't know that last fish strand just sold. Thank you so much. And missed the lot number, but it looks like they're looking for Gem 12. One of those has sold. Thank you so much. That was the carnelian. All right, this is the blue tourmaline, and these are faceted rondelles. These are, wow, these are actually these are 16-inch strands. Normally these strands are often like 13 to 14 inches for a faceted rondelle. in this size. And this is only $28 for the blue tourmaline. That's a really good price on these. That's a really good price on these.
I know some of y'all like rubies. Get ready. Some of y'all like sapphires. Get ready. The love language.
That email finally came in from Norma.
It took a little trip.
It took a trip around, and it finally got here. Good thing you sent the other one, though, because I didn't want to oversell out from under you.
It's going to take a trip.
It took a detour. Took a detour around the world.
Grab some coffee, maybe a little ice cream.
Susan asks, are you still getting snow?
No, but it's...
We aren't. I don't know if Marianne are still getting snow.
In Havel, she was posting pictures of it in us snow.
In Vermont?
No way.
Wow, these are so pretty.
It took his breath away.
Yeah. These are microfaceted, multicolored sapphires. Microfaceted, multicolored sapphires.
I know some of y'all like some rough stuff.
These are rated a grade A. Look at these. You've got the blue, you've got the red, you've got the gray, you've got some of the yellow sapphire in there, some more of the blue. Look at those. That purple sapphire. So pretty. Light blue, dark blue, gray. And these ones are 3mm microfaceted rounds. And they are... This one is just about a 16-inch strand, like 15 and a half.
Now, sapphires are corundum stones, so they're harder.
Yes, look at that sparkle.
You get what's called a hard sparkle, and that's from the facets being able to hold the stone can hold the facets. I mean, nowadays they got some kind of voodoo that they do that they can make all kinds of stones, but generally speaking, back in the day, the softer stones, you did not get the same kind of sparkle that you do with these ones.
We've sold one of these so far. These are $32 a strand only.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is a really good price.
Sapphires, y'all.
For real, not dyed, not fake. These are real sapphires in all the colors. It's pretty much every color a sapphire is going to come in. And
pretty.
Look at how bright and how blue some of those are. Nice pinky purples. And the grays. I love the gray sapphire. And the yellow.
Like rough diamonds a little bit.
Look at the yellow sapphires. You don't see yellow sapphires very often.
You know they used to throw those away.
I can't believe it. It's so crazy.
The white ones and the yellow ones, they just threw them
away. White
away.
And yellow.
Because people only wanted, they only wanted blue ones.
Too bad you couldn't find those trash bins now.
I know. It's probably on the ground.
Right.
And the pink ones, they would put in the oven and cook it and make them into rubies.
Rubies, make them more. Mary says, was my email for Gem 18? Yes, we got your email for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lorraine says, really pretty, right? And again, very nice 3mm microfaceted rounds in sapphires. $32 a strand. Two strands now available. Ooh, that's another one I want to keep one of. The sapphires.
I may keep some.
He's like, there may not be 3 strands really.
I'll have to think about it.
Wow.
Get ready, y'all.
What? That price. Oh my goodness.
Rubies for less than $20.
Rubies for less than $20 a strand.
What?
Lena says, I have a yellow sapphire cab for AG I want to set. Oh, from AG? You want to set?
Do it.
Do it. Come up sometime and do it.
She got a metal studio.
I know. I know.
You can still come up and do it.
It's fun to play with friends.
But then took over the bed, so it may be like staring at each other. And
You're right. Look at these rubies. Natural ruby pebbles for less than $20 a strand.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those. They're marked as 6 by 8 millimeter.
They're
Pebbles.
Can you imagine that?
I can't imagine less than
Having rubies for less than
$20.
You know, before I used to have these little plastic gemstones that I kept in a tote bottle, and they were little plastic beads, and I used to imagine them being gemstones.
These are 16-inch strands. 16-inch strands of natural ruby.
And now they kind of look like jelly beans.
They do. These are such good color.
Those are fun. I like them. But so I used to like fantasize about having gemstones and like precious, rare, beautiful things. And now I manifested it.
You manifested.
I get
Kimberly's asking if we'll UV those.
Sure, we can do that. And you know, that's not. I should also mention that doesn't always work.
What's it doing?
Rubies are supposed to fluoresce. Those are fluorescing like nobody's business.
Yes, they are.
But not all rubies fluoresce.
Yeah,
just so you know.
These are like bright pinky orange, more like pink. They're coming across as orange on the screen.
It's gonna take your eyes out.
But these are glowing pink.
That is one test.
Turn off the light, maybe.
No, you can see it.
You can see it good enough. Let's see here. They all sold. Thank you so much. Y'all knew that was a deal. Kimberly says, "Oh wow, that is amazing UV reaction." See, we got the real stuff here.
You think we're gonna pass off the
I don't think she thinks that, but it's good to know, right? It's good to know. We're not gonna pass off the fake. Gem 20. More rough rubies. I like those other ones, but I love these, I think. Maybe, I don't know which one I like more.
These are a darker color.
These are a darker color.
They call that ox blood.
Yeah, I like these.
So did you know that that's one of the ways that they used to compare the color of the rubies?
By the animal's blood?
Pigeon blood, ox blood, and the ox blood has more iron content, so it's a little bit of a more brownish red.
I love these, and these are a little bit more rough. These are a rough pebble versus the smoother pebbles of the other one.
There's some really good ones on there.
There's very good ones on here. I like these a lot. This is the kind of, I like designing with this kind of, like, I'm really into this rough stuff that we've gotten.
Somebody requested rough.
I know. Can you imagine putting that with some of those smaller Davrite? So the Davrite tourmaline with I would love that together.
I say S word.
S word.
Do it.
I love this deep brown with that red ruby. Ooh, I'm thinking of a bracelet. 2 of these have sold so far. We've got 1 left. Kimberly says, I love raw ruby. Kimberly says, I just like to see how they react. I know y'all aren't going to sell us fakes.
Well, yeah, we sell all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, sometimes if we sell fake, we tell you it's fake.
Not necessarily fake. Augmented.
Augmented, reproduced, synthetic. These have all sold. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh wait, I didn't UV these.
They already sold. Don't worry about it.
I know, but people like to see.
They're gonna do it.
Look at it. Oh, yes, it's doing it. Of course. Look at that.
Boy, that looks like red.
They look like red velvet cake. Like
I'm ready for some red velvet. One time I made red velvet cake for we used to watch True Blood at our friend Sisha and Jenny's house, and so I made a red velvet cake, and I put the leftover batter in the sink, and it stained the metal. There was so much dye.
So much dye.
And all of our teeth were all red and pink from eating the cake.
Yep.
And they were like, I hope this comes out. I have a beat.
Kimberly says that is droolicious. Yeah, that was some good stuff right there, and amazing prices. That's stuff, like I said, even our vintage stuff isn't at those prices.
All right, let's have a giveaway.
A giveaway. We've hit the midway point here. Let's have a kiki.
A bead kiki.
A bead kiki. We did that the one night.
And somebody's like, what the hell is a bead
I don't know.
kiki?
I don't know what it actually was, but
Kiki means party.
It does mean party, but I don't know that ours was a party, but it was fun.
I mean, we had beads.
We had beads and we had fun together. So,
I guess
so let's do a giveaway. In our giveaways, you answer the giveaways in the comments, because we just do this real quick and we set it aside then with your name on it. So this is
pick it from what we see.
We pick it from what we see. No questions, no rebuttals, no, you know.
You can rebuttal us if you're right. Like, I watched this thing about somebody that said, who is Luke Skywalker's father? And the first person, he said, Anakin Skywalker. And they said, incorrect. And the next person was Darth Vader.
Same.
And then they said, and then in the comments of it, the people who were Star Wars fans, they were like having the rage. You know, there's this one like meme of a little girl screaming so super hard that her face is turning purple. And they have one of like Hades from that Hercules cartoon and turning like into fire.
Because they didn't call it right. Michelle says, after the live, I'm going to go play with my rubies under a black light.
Yeah, and like I said, not all rubies fluoresce.
Yeah.
But some do, and most do.
So this is a luxury bead blend from Andrew, from us here at Allegory Gallery. We call them luxury bead blends. And Andrew uses all his powers of artistry to combine wonderful components together using different textures, different colors, different shapes. And we sell these. This one is going to be free for somebody. Normally they're $12 a bag. So what's the question?
Who
is Darth Vader?
Who played Princess Leia? Who played General Leia? Let's give her prop.
Who played General Leia? Let's see. Kimberly says, look at Ruby Zoisite too. It's so cool to see the ruby specks that glow in there. Also says the enhanced doesn't glow as well. Amy says Carrie Fisher.
Right.
Amy got it.
Amy Lowe.
Amy Lowe. Lennis was closed. Danette was closed. Julie just came in.
Do you think we should have another?
Let's do another. Sure. We can do another giveaway. Why not?
What do y'all want?
What do y'all want for your giveaway? What you all want? Nobody's answering. Hello, Amy, by the way.
Do y'all like these?
Michelle says, I couldn't even hear the question. Hubby was killing something last game. Oh boy. Say quiet in the back, right? Mary Jane says, blessed night, everyone. Good night, Mary Jane.
Watch the replay because we got 20 more lots.
Yeah, we got 20 more lots, so make sure you tune in. Again, give a replay the watch. Any beads, all beads, beads, everyone's saying. So we got these.
They're not, I guess they're technically a bead because it's something with a hole in it.
Right.
But they're rings.
These
I think
rings.
these are so cool.
Agate
these
rings.
were sold in a novelty shop from Hong Kong in the early 90s.
Huh.
And then that's got that very classy bread tie to keep them
Right?
together.
There you go.
But they're brown agate, and I think they're just so cool.
Beautiful agate. Kimberly says those rings are cool.
And I think they would make such an awesome kind of like component in the design.
And remember, for any of the giveaways, in order to win, you also have to have an order with us or be ordering something tonight.
Yeah. So if you're like a new person,
If
you're
you're
not
new.
going to order anything.
Yeah.
Because we had people who they only claim stuff for the giveaways.
Yeah.
And they never ordered stuff.
And at first we were shipping things out to them, you know, thinking they're going to order more, and then they never did. So we do have some giveaways that are hanging out. We just need to recycle because they've been there for years.
Anyway.
I hold them in case somebody comes around.
Well, also the one they never gave their shipping address.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we often don't get shipping addresses from new people. That's often why too.
Like the YouTube people, some random YouTube people.
Yep. Yeah, we give new people the benefit of the doubt that they grab one, but do have an order. Otherwise, you can't get them. All right, what's the question?
What do you want for?
Marianne says, I won't say what these remind me of.
What?
I don't know. What could they remind you of?
Butterscotch.
Anna says, LOL, Marianne.
What do they remind you of?
I don't know.
Pig anuses?
Oh my goodness. Andrew's just going to go there. He's not afraid.
I was thinking like candy.
I know. Like little butterscotch candies.
I know. But I'm trying to think of something horrific.
Our minds are in the gutters, ladies, says Kimberly.
What is it?
I don't know. Everybody's talking about things I don't know tonight. Marianne says, yes, Kimberly. Anna says, LOL.
What's Kimberly said?
I don't know. Just that the minds are in the gutters.
Oh.
Anyway, if somebody still wants these rings, Susan says, yes. Don't know what. I don't know. Maybe nobody wants this anymore.
But what would be a good question?
I don't know. What have we talked about tonight? We didn't have a long talking session tonight. We didn't even get to what people ate. Oh, Anna says toys.
Sensual toys?
Sensual toys?
I don't know those toys.
Oh, C-rings, says Jermaine.
Oh.
Those look awfully small.
Bless your heart. Like what, for a cat?
Oh my. Oh my. All right.
Yeah, good luck. You're going to cut off your circulation.
I know.
And end up on one of them shows on the British channel. Or watch it on the Google box.
Right? Danette says those are small for a C-ring. I hope
like
so.
A person's finger.
I know that doesn't even fit over the knuckle on my pinky. Maybe the knuckle on my pinky. I don't want to push it though.
I know, it gets
Anna says training size toys. Oh Lord.
Training size.
Let's not go there.
I don't know what that is. I'm learning stuff every day.
I know. Jermaine's laughing. Danette's laughing. All right, everybody. We can't say we're not funny.
Is it like something like one of them stretch neck people?
Oh Lord.
Where they put the rings on their neck to elongate it?
Oh Lord.
I don't know about such things if they have that for that. Hey, new people.
Hey, new people. Welcome. Welcome. Marianne says, let's go with caramel candies instead. Donna's laughing. Kimberly's laughing.
I'm glad you all.
Anna says, small stuff, I guess.
I was like, good luck. Bless your heart.
Jermaine says, that was the only dirty thing I could think of.
I know. I was like, really trying hard.
I know, because size versus shape, it wasn't clicking for me.
I know. I guess.
There was like a ring, because that barely
That's what
fits.
I thought. I was like, this is what you buy in those like stores and the Asian grocery stores.
Yeah, like those jade rings. These would be nice rings, actually. You could sell them as rings.
I mean, we probably could put them in the store
and sell them as rings, since nobody wants these.
Them away. Well, if you need to use these as a sex toy, you can do whatever y'all want.
All right, what's the question?
Give us water is all I'm saying.
Give us a question.
Let's see. Who do you want? Literature, movies, music?
Let's do some music. We haven't had a music question in a while.
What band was Debbie Harry in?
Debbie Harry. I don't even know who Debbie Harry is. What band was Debbie Harry in? Sue says, thanks. I needed the laugh on an unfunny day. Yeah, it was funny, everybody. Thank you. Lena says Blondie.
Correct.
Because Julie said Blondie, Anna said Blondie, Michelle said Blondie, Dale said Blondie, Susie said Blondie, Suzanne says Blondie. Okay, so the first one was Lennis.
Good job.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Quick on the take there.
See, you're on the trivia.
I would not be on the trivia team.
I'm not good at it.
I'm terrible.
I was like, is that real? Like, I had to Google check it.
He's checking it to make sure he had the right question.
Like,
Well, have fun with your rings, Lennis. Whatever you choose to do with them.
To reach yourself. I don't think Poopy's going to.
I don't think. No, I don't think he's going to treat himself to those. No. Oh my! All right, what are we doing here? Let me clean my lens. I think I touched the lens at one point. There we go. Susan says, thanks, Lennis. I knew the answer, but didn't want the prize. Oh, those are nice rings. I don't know. I
know. Stone ring.
I know. For free?
I know.
We'll take anything for, well, not anything for free. I shouldn't say that.
I know you end up with some stuff.
I know. Kimberly says, I would use them as links for a charm cluster. Right?
I made a necklace a long time ago. I just did a blast from the past, and they had like this metal ring, not stone, and it had a bunch of different little charms and.
That was nice. I like that one.
Here, y'all want another.
Donna says, y'all, I needed a good laugh tonight.
Here's another giveaway.
Here's another giveaway. Here's another giveaway, everybody. This little ring. This is a metal ring.
Pick a topic.
And you could do a lot with this because there's lots of holes through there. So you could seed bead around it. You could add beads, thread beads through there. That'd be really cool.
What topic do you want?
What topic? Let's do movies. Kimberly says, wow, love it. Cool. Julie says, I'm loving seeing all your old pieces, Andrew.
Oh, thanks. What movie did Cher win an Oscar for?
What movie did Cher win an Oscar for? I should know that because I love Cher, but I actually don't. I don't even know if I've seen all the Cher movies. I just heard she was in another one that maybe that's the one that I didn't even know she was in. Danette says Mask.
Nope.
Mary says Mamma Mia.
Nope.
Let's see. Who's the first one to say that? Julie says Moonstruck.
Correct.
Julie gets it. Yeah, I just heard about her in Mask. I've never even watched Mask.
That's a depressing one.
I kind of got that, but I didn't know she was in it.
You know, one of my favorite movies that I'm reevaluating is The Witches of Eastwick.
Why?
Because for a long time, I always thought Felicia was that kind of like a pain in the butt.
The Witches of Eastwick. I'm not remembering it, but okay.
You know Felicia? She's the one that got the pearl necklace and then fell down the stairs.
I don't even remember it, so no.
Well, just say yes.
Okay, sure.
Anyways, the more I started thinking about it, I was like, she was a difficult person, but nothing she said was untrue.
So now we got to rewatch it, and
I know, and then be like, poor Felicia.
Let's see here.
She did not get what she got. She did not deserve what she got. But I think she was in the reboot.
Amy says, snap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly says, cool, because I was thinking mermaids. Julie says, woo, thank you.
I watched that Mermaids movie on repeat with my sister Sheila.
Which one?
Mermaids. With Christina Ricci.
Marion says, Mask is a good movie. Moonstruck is one of my all-time faves, says Julie. Mask is the only Cher movie I could think of, says Danette. Cherry Pits, says Julie, with a throw-up face.
Mm-hmm. That's a nightmare story.
Lena says she was the one who said the Emperor had no clothes.
Nobody believed her. And I was like, I feel that. I would probably be Felicia. I like to think that I was not be getting down on Daryl Van Horn. Let me just say that.
Boy, bless I need to rewatch heart. This.
Jack Nicholson, you know, if that's her flavor, that's her flavor.
That's Michelle just said Witches of Eastwick is a great movie with Jack Nicholson.
That's not my personal flavor, but I don't want to be Sookie because she got like 10 kids.
Kimberly says, I'm embarrassed to admit I've not seen Moonstruck. I don't know if I've seen Moonstruck.
It's a good one, but I haven't seen it in like 20 years.
Yeah, I feel like I have, but I know a lot of Cher's music. I don't know that I've seen. I know I've not seen all her movies. All right, what's next?
She's in some funny ones and some like. And I like it when she plays herself.
She's funny as herself. I mean, she's good otherwise, but I like Cher as she is.
When she was on that, what's that show? Will and Grace.
Will and Grace.
And Jack is
she
going to
slaps him. Yeah, he's going to outshare her, and then she slaps him, and that's when he realizes. Oh.
He got slapped out of it.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Jermaine said, I knew it was Moonstruck, but the only word that surfaced in my head was Moonstone.
Well, that sounds nice, too.
Lena says...
Did you know she's a beater?
Yeah, Cher's a beater. She used to make earrings as gifts for her friends. I'm like, can you just stop in when you're in Pittsburgh sometime?
When's she going to do that? When's she going to be in Johnstown?
Come into Johnstown on your way to Pittsburgh?
I don't know, but the Indigo girls are coming to Johnstown.
Yeah, they are. For Pride. Mm-hmm. Julie says, see it, William. I'll have to. Lena says, Moonstruck is great. Mermaids is great, too. Silkwood, too. I don't know Silkwood. Mary says, do any of you remember the Sonny and Cher show? I watch reruns and clips of the Sonny and Cher show. Same with the Carol Burnett show. I love watching the rerun. Cher was in the Carol Burnett show. That was a good skit. That was a really good skit. When Cher was in the Carol Burnett show.
That still holds water.
Susan says, yes, I do, but I'm older than dirt. Mary says, some of us are old, Mary, so yes. I know them through the reruns, mainly. But yeah. I wish there were more kind of shows like that. The variety shows nowadays.
Do they still make that?
I don't know. Are there any like good variety shows like that you can think of these days?
SNL, they do it.
SNL is kind of like that, yeah. That would be the biggest one probably these days still. Jermaine says, I love Sonny and Cher, never missed an episode. Norma says, always watch Sonny and Cher.
I like her better than him, though.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
I miss the old variety shows, says Donna. I like watching the reruns.
Mama Family?
That's Carol Burnett.
No. What's
Vicki Lawrence?
She's coming to town, isn't she?
Yeah, she's coming to...
I thought she was dead.
No. She's still going.
I remember Mama's Family.
I loved Mama's Family. And I would like to see her. And
she kind of reminds me of my grandma.
Oh, yeah. So this is Sunstone, right? Sunstone. Special Delight for only $20. Sunny Delight. For only $20. Faceted rounds in, they're saying 6mm. 6mm Sunstone. Faceted rounds for only $20. Gem 21. Marion says there are all those reality shows now. I know. Susan says, I think variety shows are old school. Wish someone would revive them. That needs to come back around. That's a fashion that needs to come back around.
It depends who does it.
Yeah.
It's like anything.
You have to have a good, funny, talented host that's going to do it. Mama's Family is so funny, says Donna.
I don't know how well it aged, but in my
Yeah,
memory.
I know. It's been a while since I've watched Mama's Family because it's not always easy to find on TV anymore. The reruns.
We used to get it on that old timey.
Yeah, and I think that's on Amazon now. I think you can still watch stuff there. I'm gonna have to check it out. Julie says that wig, right, is so funny. Susan says I hate reality shows, especially since they're scripted. Yeah, they script them out so that you hate certain people, and then they edit them just right to make it even more.
Charlene, she was on that Skin Wars, and they made her like the villain, and she's like one of the nicest people.
Yeah, she's super nice.
She can be sassy,
right? But she's not villain material.
But you know what? She actually knows how to paint, and so she went to school for painting. That's how she met my sister Sheila.
She was a threat,
and so she took however many years of anatomy, so she knew all the names of the bones, and people got hateful on her for that. And they already determined that because she's blonde and pretty, that she's going to be the villain. And they made all these like Southern Viper.
Yeah, they did. Those Sunstone are pretty, says Anna, aren't they?
Like Sunstone.
Hold on. $20 for these. We've sold one so far.
Aren't those pretty?
At least that the email has come in so far. Lena says, we watch the singing shows like The Voice, Masked Singer, Britain's Got Talent, etc. I used to like those. At first I didn't. Like when America's Got Talent first came on.
We only had one channel though, so.
And
remember how we watched that whole summer, and me and Babette were going to be America's Got Talent.
Yeah. Yep.
We were going to perform.
But I think that first came on when I was still in college. Because I remember, who was it? That curly-haired guy. He got second place, I think, to, I don't know, somebody who's famous now. And everyone was like, he was robbed. And now she's like super famous. Anyway.
What?
Anyway, I never watched it back then in college. And Kimberly says, I'm just over regular TV anymore. My TV is YouTube Lives, right? Mary says, how many Desperate Housewives do I want to know exist?
You know, I've always not been into that, but I was at that Airmont, and there were the Glass people. They were like into it. And they knew everybody and their backstories, and I could see how that could be addictive. Yeah,
there it is. Amy says, Justin Guarini from Bucks County, PA. Yeah, because he was from Pennsylvania, and I went to school at Penn State. So everyone was like, he was robbed.
I only remember that little girl from Pittsburgh.
Oh, the opera singer. Yeah, Jackie Ivanko.
Is she still alive?
Yeah, I think she's singing.
Is she still singing, or did she burn her voice out?
No, I think she's still
Sarah
singing.
Reitman was like, be careful, girl. I remember that. She's like, because you going to burn out your throat.
Oh, Sarah Brightman said that?
Because if they do that, like Mentors or something?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't see all that, but Sarah Brightman, I love Sarah Brightman. That was the first concert I ever went to in college was Sarah Brightman. Yeah. I love that.
In college or just in general?
That was probably in general, too, because I didn't really do stuff in high school like that. We didn't do that. My friends and I, we saw movies and stuff, but we didn't go to concerts.
Yeah. So
look at this sunstone.
I have a trivia question. And it relates to my youth. But we'll save that.
Michelle watches a lot of Discovery, History, and Travel Channel. Jermaine says, I like The Voice, and So You Think You Can Dance. I do like the dancing shows sometimes.
I like it when they do like creative stuff.
People are watching Oak Island. Susan says we're watching Oak Island right now. I know you all like that Oak Island.
Craft in America, I love that show. And I like Glow Up, even though the judges are kind of annoying sometimes. I do like when we used to watch Face Off. I love that show. Basically, when they have to do like crafts.
Oh yeah. Or did Justin Guarini win?
I don't know.
He may have won, and then he didn't do anything in the second place. Came in and did. That might have been it too. I can't remember. But Amy says, I think Pink went to that same high school.
I saw Pink in her youth time. She
I
almost
like Pink.
lit the stage on fire. She was playing at the Hard Rock Cafe in downtown Disney, and she had these candles going, and they had these flowy drapes.
Oh boy. These are Sunstone, beautiful Sunstone rough nuggets.
She was not the headliner. She was the opener.
The opener. These are 16-inch strands, and these are approximately, Amy says Justin did not win. He did a movie with Kelly afterwards that tanked Kelly Clarkson. That's who won.
Was it that Justin and Kelly?
I don't know what the movie, but did a movie with Kelly that tanked afterwards.
I have a vague recollection.
This is about 10 millimeters by 16 on that particular one, but they're all a little different.
I remember that was like the height of when people had to like vote with their phones. And they would have to
yeah.
I hated that. I hated that with a deep passion because it would crash the network. And I remember
you couldn't
being stranded in the rain trying to call a taxi.
I remember that. You couldn't use your cell phone when that was going on.
And I hated that. I had to walk like 2 miles in the rain, and my underwear got thoroughly soaked. And,
oh boy. Dinesh says, I get stuck watching Gunsmoke or John Wayne. Dave has either of those on constantly. Ugh.
Yeah, that's a time period.
My grandfather used to watch those all the time. The gunslinger westerns. Let's see. Donna says, I watch a lot of History Channel and Ancient Civilizations, several YouTube thrifters, and nature documentaries. Now, this is some tiger eye you don't see every day.
Nope.
Tiger eye rough.
Somebody
asked for the rough. Tiger eye rough.
Right.
These are about 12 by 18 millimeter. They're marked 12 by 18 millimeter nuggets of rough tiger eye. Michelle says, I like John Wayne, but not all the time. Hubby and I share the TV. Sometimes he watches stuff I like, and I watch stuff he likes. Most of the time, we like the same things. That's a good way. Should split the TV time, right?
What are we watching?
What are we watching now?
We finished the Wolf
We're watching
King.
that cartoon. Oh, did we finish that?
Mm-hmm.
The Wolf King cartoon?
I was looking.
Animated series.
And part of the reason, like in theory, you would think that I would love it. Part of it is I'm going a little bit deaf, and so when the talking is lower than the music.
It was not edited well.
And since it's animated, their mouths don't sync up always. So I was having a real hard time following along with the story.
Yeah, when they make the music, the background sounds, or the music louder than the talking.
It's like that Halo show.
And then it blasts out of the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they talk, it's like, what?
Like,
whisper sonic.
I said, no.
Danette says, then again, watching Gunsmoke or John Wayne is better than watching Penguins hockey right now. I would know nothing about that.
I don't even know how we would do that.
Jermaine says, I watched Gunsmoke when it first aired. Haven't seen it in decades. Susan says, I've been listening to music right now, primarily classical or ambient stuff. Hubs puts on the news, and I can only handle it in small doses. Mm-hmm. Yes. Hey, Bobby's Baubles is back. Hello, Bobby. We do Murder, She Wrote, Diagnosis Murder, and Matlock. Yep, we are old farts. The old Matlock or the new Matlock?
We saved up.
We're ready to finish watching the new Matlock.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, we like it.
I like Kathy Bates.
I like Kathy Bates a lot. So this is Gem 23, $20 each. These are big strands for $20 of rough tiger eye. Mm-hmm. And they're more pretty in person than they are on the camera.
There's some blue ones on there, just so you know.
They're really pretty. If you like the rough stuff.
Just so that
and I haven't seen Murder, She Wrote in a long time, but I used to like it. I don't know Diagnosis Murder.
With Dick Van Dyke?
Is that Dick Van Dyke?
Of course.
I don't know that, but I like Dick Van Dyke a lot.
And he's still alive.
He's still going, yep. Marianne watches a lot of history on YouTube. One of my favorites is the podcast The Rest is History with Tom Holland and Dominic Sandbrook.
I used to think that Dick Van Dyke was like so handsome.
He was attractive.
He was,
I mean,
like, a little bit dorky.
I don't like to say was. I mean, he's still alive.
I mean,
he's very dorky.
You know,
it's
not my flavor nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't have like a grandpa fetish.
No, but I wouldn't say he's not handsome though. He's a good-looking guy. I think always has been.
Well, in his youth time, I thought he was like smoking.
You were into that.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes when he would sass Mary Tyler Moore, I did not like that.
Still back then didn't like that.
I was like, she's allowed to have her own money.
And he was pretty good to her.
He was, but sometimes he'd sass her every once in a while.
Especially for the time period. He'd
listen to them devilhead people who would give him the wrong advice.
Yeah. Yeah. He's distinguished now, says Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Donna says, I love those shows too. And Bobby says the original Matlock.
The shows that don't age well, I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched.
Terrible.
I love Bewitched when I was growing up. I love I Dream of Jeannie when I was growing up. I tried to rewatch both of those. I could not take it. I was screaming at the TV.
Yeah, he was. We had to shut it down. My
blood pressure was high. I was like, Samantha, get rid of this fella. Y'all don't know any witchcraft to find somebody who's not going to be a jerk.
Right.
Go summon up somebody who's not a jerk.
These are Labradorite.
Dora was right.
And Dora was right. Get rid of that one. Should have left with your mother. These are rough.
She's queen of the witches, and she gotta go and settle for this dude. Oh, you can't do magic. You can't do this. You can't do this. Oh, let my client sexually assault you in our backyard.
I know, right?
And he's yelling at her because she turned him into a dog. I said, y'all, this is family friendly, because if I had them devil powers, it's gonna be on.
This is Labradorite rough cut nuggets, slightly
maybe like the boys.
Satiny. You see the satiny kind of flash on those.
Aren't those pretty?
They're not polished stones.
No, they're not.
They're approximately 13 by 17 millimeter, 8-inch strands, $16 each. Really cool. These would make really pretty cool rough earrings, I think, or a bracelet. That'd make a cool bracelet. I'm into this rough stuff for a bracelet. I need to make some of these rough bracelets. Danette says, I do like Dancing with the Stars. And I think I've seen every episode of Friends 2 million times, but I still watch Friends no matter what. That's like me and Golden Girls. Dick Van Dyke's early characters were dorky, says Marianne. Darren was useless, says Amy.
I know.
Yes, Darren was useless.
And he was not hot. So I was like, she must be in love. Because
she got trapped in love.
I was like,
because she's all powerful and she's hanging out with this guy.
And then gonna have to do his laundry. Yeah.
By the hard way.
I know he won't let her do magic. I was like, do what you gonna tell me to do? I don't think so. Not today, Satan.
Lena says, my favorite was when Mary Tyler Moore danced on the Dick Van Dyke Show when they were having a house party. I think I remember that one. Ooh, what are these? Gold rutilated quartz.
Yeah, there's no way. I was like, why do we have to suffer?
I know.
That's like Little House on the Prairie. I do not like that show.
Gilligan's Island was so stupid, says Donna.
But I kind of like that one.
That was, yeah, could be, it was okay.
But you know what? It's still true. The millionaire, but was he millionaire or billionaire?
He was, I think, only million back then. So
they get you in trouble. Don't listen to the scientists.
Knows what they're doing. These are really nice. These are really nice gold rutilated quartz pebbles. Only $10 for a strand. 3 strands available. Let's see. Susan says, I love the Laura Petrie look. She's my style icon. I could see that. Huh?
Who's that?
Laura Petrie. Dick Van Dyke Show. Laura, the wife. Mary Tyler Moore.
That's her name?
Laura Petrie. Yeah, I think that's right.
You know, my mom, she used to have a haircut like that.
Oh yeah.
That's her name.
Yeah, Laura Petrie.
How come? What's his name?
What was his name in the show? Laura and but it was Petrie. And then they had their son. We've sold one of these so far. Thank you so much.
I keep thinking Richie, but that's
Richie was the son.
That's Lucille Ball.
Was it? I thought it was also. Anyway, let me get it down in the comments. Somebody's probably telling us. Beta Bliss, Kimberly says, I am so a combination of Sophia and Dorothy. I Dream of Jeannie was confusing for me as a kid, says Michelle. Donna says, I love the Beverly Hillbillies. I still watch the Beverly Hillbillies. I think they hold up fairly well because they were down to earth and they respected people. The Clampets did. Not the other ones, but there are still people like that too.
No, I was like,
Michelle says, like, why was she trapped in a bottle with all that power?
Because she's a genie. That's her house.
Danette says The Love Boat. Haha, so cheesy. I used to watch some of that, but that came on like when I was sick from school, and I could never follow along with it very well. Yes, that's her name. Rob Petrie. Thank you, everybody. Rob and Laura Petrie. And Richie was Rob and Richie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Richie was the son. Little Ricky was Lucy's son.
I don't like. I love that show, but then I try to watch it, and he's kind of a jerk to her.
Oh, Desi? Yeah, but that was what it was supposed to be.
I don't like it.
I know.
Don't like that.
But that was the whole premise, and she was in charge of that show.
Like the one that he's going to talk about how he's going to punch her in the face. Honeymooners. I don't like that.
Oh, the Honeymooners. I like the Honeymooners, but
knock her into guess who's gonna get knocked right back?
Well, she gave it back too.
Yeah,
she did.
Still.
Bang zoom to the moon.
No bang zoom something.
Cheryl just got here. Just got home. Are there items left? Yes, there's a lot left actually.
We keep getting talking that vintage TV.
I know. It's goofy, but Green Acres is sometimes funny.
We lived that.
I know. I like Green Acres.
When we moved here, it was like an episode of Green Acres.
Let's see. So there are one of these left of that, the golden tourmalinated quartz, golden rutilated quartz. Sorry, rutilated. Whoa! Falling down. Cheryl says, oh boy. Yeah, we've been talking vintage TV here the last few minutes. Michelle says, I watched the Dukes of Hazzard. I don't think that held up very well at all. Not at all. Nope.
The Confederate flag
all over the car. No. Yeah. That and what else? I used to watch. What are the old kids? Three's Company.
That one also.
It doesn't hold up. I mean, it does in some ways.
Roper.
Three's Company holds up in some ways because there are still some issues with women's equality, and they still discuss that.
That where he has to pretend like he's a gay.
Yeah, that's not great.
Did you know there was a gay character on Golden Girls?
The very first one, yeah.
And then he got edited out.
Yep.
Real quick.
He was in the pilot. If you watch the pilot of Golden Girls, they had an in-house cook, and then they replaced him with Sophia.
As well, they should have.
Right. I had a friend who loved Green Acres because Lisa reminded him of his mother. That's funny. I like the old 60s spy shows, says Susan, like The Avengers, The Prisoner, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
They redid that with Henry Cavill.
This is amber, everybody. It looks like carnelian, right? It's so deep in color. It's beautiful amber. These are long, rough stuff amber, long strands. These are 16-inch strands of amber, approximately 12 by 22 millimeters. Cheryl says, I loved Gilligan and Lucy as a tot.
Did you know that Lucille Ball helped produce Star Trek?
I heard that. She helped with that. The British version of Three's Company is better. I've heard that too. I don't know that I've ever watched it. I think I tried to find. I was gonna say I thought at some point maybe we saw some of them.
There's some of them that, like, I didn't know. Did you know that Friends was actually a British show?
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it?
Um,
Queer as Folk was a British show.
That was British originally. Marion says it wasn't called that though. No, it wasn't. Marion says Perry Mason, MASH, Little House on the Prairie. Andrew does not like Little House on the Prairie.
No, it's called Money Problem on the Prairie.
I used to watch Quantum Leap.
I love Quantum Leap.
Knight Rider.
Love Knight Rider.
With Kit the Car, right?
Correct.
And then what were some of the other old shows?
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff was in that.
Battlestar Galactica.
And I didn't watch that. We didn't get that. Huh?
I think that's what the name of the show. I have no remembrance of that.
The Brady Bunch. Kim says I grew up with the Brady Bunch. I loved their house. I know, who didn't love their house? They had a nice house. Especially when you grew up in a small house like we did. Norma says I wasn't allowed to watch The Man from U.N.C.L.E., so I went across the street to watch it at my babysitter's house.
That's cool.
Airwolf says Amy. I forgot about that. Man About the House. Oh yeah, that's what it was, Marianne.
I think we watched that.
If you watch old movies, Raymond Burr, Perry Mason played a lot of really evil characters. Says Mary. Danette says I love the Brady Bunch house. Also thought the stairway was so cool and the sunken living room. I know, right?
Conversation pit. You know what? Those look cool. Those are not actually. That's how you twist the ankle and fall down to. We went to this house out in Tucson and they had a conversation pit, and I almost died several times.
Oh no.
Because it was all white shag carpet, so visually there is no like indicator that there was a change in elevation, and all of a sudden you'd be in the air. Luckily, the carpet was soft. Let's
see here. The OG Star Trek and Next Generation, says Susan. My mom and I used to watch the OG Star Trek growing up, and we would go to the rental store, right, and rent all the movies.
I like Next Generation.
Yeah, we tried to rewatch the original, and Andrew couldn't.
I mean, I probably could, but even the Next Generation is kind of goofy the first season.
Mm-hmm. Kim says to have a maid though, I was so jealous, right? Alice, the live-in maid. Who didn't want that? Lena says, love the Battlestar Galactica exhibit at Universal Studios Park when I was little.
Is that even there anymore? All that stuff is so different.
Look at this. How beautiful bronzite.
And it was like so dilapidated by the time that we had seen it. And it was like the rubber was like barely hanging on for dear life.
These are bronzite nuggets. Look how beautiful they are.
Bronzite
no. And this is not coming across on camera as nice as it is. I'm 100% sure of it. It's hard to catch these. Let me see if I lift the light a little bit. If you can see a little bit better of how nice these are. Beautiful bronzite nuggets.
How much were the rutilated quartz we had?
Which ones?
The golden rutilated.
10. Yep. Susan says, "Oh, Battlestar Galactica was great." And let's see here. What was Norma talking about? I don't know. Oh, the guns, because Susan says, Norma, those guns were so realistic the FBI investigated the production company.
What?
I don't know which show that was. Maybe The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Convenient to have Sam the Butcher as Alice's friend. Brady Bunch got the best meat, right?
Mm-hmm. They're going to hoe her out for some meat.
We just sold the last of the 25s, so that was the rutilated quartz.
Well, what are the ones that with the All in the Family?
All in the Family.
And then Sanford and Sons.
Oh yeah, the Jeffersons, Sanford and
Cosby
Sons.
Show. I know we're not supposed to talk about
I
the
know,
Cosby
Cosby Show.
I love me some Rudy back in the day.
Yep. Ooh, look at these. Bigger nuggets. If you got the smaller nuggets, you might want some of these larger rutilated nuggets. Only $12 for the larger size. These are approximately 8 by 12 millimeters. They're marked. Lena says Sanford and Son was a British show too.
Is it?
I don't know. I didn't know that one. Jermaine says, I liked I Spy and the Mod Squad and a ton of other shows from the 50s and 60s.
Oh, is that the one where they had all the gadgets? There was one where I was obsessed with all the little gadgets that they had.
Jermaine says, yes, All in the Family.
That one is still kind of holds up.
Yeah, All in the Family is good.
That's kind of a bad note. Like, a lot of those ones also ended, like, so depressing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all remember that.
The Jeffersons spun off of that. All the spin-offs of different things, too.
Mm-hmm.
The Golden Girls spun off Empty Nest. I love Empty Nest, too.
And Maude.
And Maude, when Maude was... Yeah, I liked Maude. I've been trying to find old... Because I only watched a few seasons of Maude, I think, because I can only find a few seasons. Julie says, the Sanford and Son theme song is the ringtone for my best friend. That's funny. Hawaii Five-O, says Kim.
Oh, yeah, that was the one.
My dad and I used to watch Hawaii Five-O at night.
Like a core memory.
Yep.
What's the one where they have the police officers and they have the shorty shorts? Chips.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I was like, how did their nutsack get
Oh, Nancy says Benny Hill.
Which one's that one?
That's the one. Isn't that the one where he used to run around with the women? Is that the Benny Hill show? They were like, they weren't topless, but they were very for that time period. Is that the Benny Hill show? And then Elf. Yeah, Elf, Punky Brewster. Mm-hmm. Those are some, late 80s, early 90s.
You know, Punky Brewster, she ended up on Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
Did you know they had Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, and they made her grandma? I said, do what?
Yeah.
I was going to write a letter to somebody.
Yeah, Anna says, Benny Hill is so bawdy. Marianne says, I preferred Magnum P.I. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love me some Magnum P.I. I went to that beach, that Lanikai Beach, because that's where his house was supposed to be.
You went there?
Correct.
Marianne says, also. Did I? Marianne says, I never liked Benny Hill. I never watched Benny Hill. We weren't allowed to watch Benny Hill. Michelle says, they wouldn't show All in the Family now. I don't know. I think it holds up pretty well.
How he was like...
But, yeah, there are some things that are said, right?
Because the people, it's too close to real life.
Right. Gem 28.
I do remember when they said power to the pregnos.
And see, Cheryl says, I went to the Magnum P.I. beach too during our honeymoon, LOL. Dennis says, how about Charlie's Angels?
I love me some Charlie's Angels.
I never saw that one.
Oh my gosh, that was a good one.
I never saw that. Well, actually, I shouldn't say never. I saw like 1 or 2 episodes.
But boys come out the
box. Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, and what was oh no, I can't think of it.
Oh, you know one of my favorites, Dark Shadows.
I kind of remember that.
I saw the new one. I said, what is this hot trash? I said, just because Tim Burton made it doesn't mean it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Oh, did we say MacGyver?
Oh, I love
MacGyver, right?
Oh my gosh, the things he could do with chewing gum.
I know, right?
One of my core memories is when he did a facial reconstruction with pencil erasers. I was like, I'm gonna do that.
Right. Bobby says, "Oh yes, Dark Shadows." Susan says, "My mother loved Magnum PI."
I can see
that. Was what was his?
Tom Selleck.
Yeah, but what was his friend's name? Wasn't the?
Who cares about the friend?
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Daddy Time.
Daddy Time. Oh boy, there's only 2 of these ones.
Yeah, I got the laugh that they have.
Lena says that is the point, though, to show his racism, and now he learns once he actually gets to know people, like when Sammy Davis Jr. is on. I like that episode. That was a good one. Dark Shadows was the show we watched at sleepovers. I never slept, says Kim. Marion says, I love Dark Shadows. Hurried home from school to watch it. Norma says Dark Shadows was another I wasn't allowed to watch, with an eye roll. This is beautiful labradorite chunks. Chunky monkeys. Nancy says, I just ate half a bag of mandarins.
That sounds great.
That does sound great. Get that vitamin C. No scurvy around here, right? Ooh, look at these. These are nice. $32. Big, nice chunks. These are appropriate for focals. This would be great for focals.
Watch The Cautionary Tale. My mom made us watch this movie. Well, we also, so every year we had to watch Ben-Hur.
I never have seen that.
I was not a fan of that because it was like 18 hours long. And we also had to watch Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind.
We also had to watch the one that you watched at Christmas time.
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. I love that show, that movie.
And
my grandmother and I always watched The Sound of Music.
We watched that all.
And is it Moses?
Mm-hmm.
Watched Moses and
on Easter.
Moses was always a 2-day thing because it was such a long movie.
And it came on Channel 6.
6, yep, NBC. That's where we watched it.
Channel 6 was CBS.
Oh, I think it was NBC for us, but it was still 6.
Channel 2 was NBC.
Channel 2, I think, was ABC for us.
ABC was Channel 9.
CBS was 2 and 10. I think CBS was 2 and 10. ABC was 4. And 6 was NBC. Yeah, but we always watched. Oh, Nancy says, love the fastening on those too. Yeah, those are really nice. The 29s. Dark Shadows started out as just a soap opera, but became a gothic dream with vampires and witches, says Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Michelle says, don't know Dark Shadows. Susan says, used to watch Dark Shadows with my mother, probably the start of my inner goth interests.
I watched a lot of stuff I probably shouldn't have watched. So
Are these garnets?
They called it Milky Peridot, but I think they're garnets.
Milky Peridot.
Like, you mean garnets?
I know, it's like, they really look like garnets.
Because I thought some from Oregon were these garnets.
Peridot / garnets. I think they're
garnets.
Yeah, I think these are garnets too. They don't look like peridot. I was wondering. Angela says, I was wondering about Dark Shadows. I love Magnum PI. My puppy is Magnum PR.
That's cute.
That's cute. Let's see here. Susan says, our local ABC affiliate never broadcasts the first season of Dark Shadows. To this day, I've never seen it.
I'm sure you can probably find it now.
And it says, do not watch the horrible Dark Shadows movie remake with Johnny Depp.
I was telling you. I was like, what is this?
What is this?
I was like, did I have a different memory? Did they do like the Mandela effect on my brain? Because this is ridiculous.
Sylvia says, I was told as a young adult, my dad preferred that my mom and I didn't watch the original TV Lassie. We always cried.
I could see that. I watched that.
Cheryl says, the movie and the old series are epic. I never saw the remake with JD for that reason. It looked ridiculous, said Susan.
It was.
So these are
Can confirm.
Garnets in this rough cut, which is really, really pretty. Rough cut garnets, 3 strands available, $36 a strand. And let me give you a size on these. These are kind of graduated from the ends to the center. You can see, let me just grab one strand here and to let you know. These are about 6.5 millimeters up to about 8 millimeters. Marion says, season 1 was kind of dull, Susan. Michelle says, "Oh, I did see the movie and was so confused. Hubby had to explain everything because I never saw the original."
I don't. I don't remember it being. I don't remember. You know which one I also have a core memory of? Is what's the name? Superman.
I didn't watch Superman growing up, really.
Christopher Reeves and
I guess I did see Christopher Reeves Superman.
He was Dr. Queen Medicine Woman.
You know, I don't know anybody.
And then
Oh.
And then she made jewelry.
Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman and made jewelry.
Uh-huh.
Anybody know? Anybody answer that for Andrew?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
In the Superman movie? You mean played Lois Lane?
No. It was a movie called
Jane Seymour, says Amy and Anna.
A moment in time when he goes and he time travels with the penny.
I don't remember that.
He was also very alluring.
Alluring.
The stirrings.
Stirrings. He gave you the stirrings.
Well, I also watched Dynasty and Knox Landing.
Yeah.
And all these things. And my grandma, she did not know that we knew about how our babies came from. And so we would say things like, "Where did the babies come from, Grandma?" And she'd like tell us they came from the knot from the tree. And they're like, "Oh, really?"
She didn't want to explain that to y'all.
No. And then she was like, "They do bad stuff by the train tracks." And they said, "Like what? Murder?"
Murder? Look at these. These are clear quartz, rough quartz stone in these little points.
We used
drops.
to sell those by the piece.
Yeah, we still do. We have these by the piece in the store.
And they're like $1 a piece.
Yeah. So these are $16 for the strand. They might be $1.25 a piece in the store. So this is a really good deal.
If you want bigger, this way.
Oh, $16 a strand, 8-inch strands, approximately 6 by 33 millimeters. It's saying on here, but let me just grab kind of a middle one here to show you. So these are about 6 by 25.5 for the middle size. So yeah, 6 millimeters up to about probably 33 is right. Somewhere in Time, shot at Mackinac Island, says Bobby. TV version of Superman with George Reeves.
That's too old for me.
Lena says, yes, John Barry did the score.
I love that movie. You know, Katie, she's got a house on Mackinac Island.
Katie who?
Garrett.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's right.
It's just not, we need to board it up.
It's only good for one month, right? 1 week out of the whole year.
And so what do your parents who live next door do the rest of the year?
Look at these.
Wait, I'm not trying to invite myself or anything.
Alfred Hitchcock Presents, original TV version, said Sylvia. I used to stay up and watch the Alfred Hitchcock, when my mom, she was working night shift, and I would stay up and wait for her to get home. And Hitchcock and the Twilight Zone would come on, and I would watch those in the middle of the night. The Twilight Zone, I know. They remade that
several times.
And here just a few years ago, they remade it. If I remember, I watched some of them. I think they were okay.
With Jordan Peele or whatever.
Can't remember. You know, I don't know anybody.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Twilight Zone. I still like to watch the old Twilight Zones. They're still funky.
They give me nightmares, some of them.
Marianne says, hey, I watch YouTubes about Hollywood mysteries too, and one episode was about George Reeves.
Oh, really?
Michelle said, saw the original Superman movies. So these are...
George Reeves, like, from the 20s?
I don't know.
That's not like new.
Nancy says Twilight Zone was scary. Probably when I was a kid, it wasn't that scary because I didn't understand probably all of it. Because I was so young when I was watching these, but I remember watching them in the middle of the night by myself, waiting for my mom to come home.
Oh my gosh, that still gives me nightmares.
But in Alfred Hitchcock, that was good too. This is Gem 32. These are large 8-inch strands of clear quartz.
The Superman that I remember the best was Dean Cain. Now he's like, isn't he like a Republican politician now?
I don't know.
I say, you're Filipino. Be quiet.
These are graduated. Start out small and get larger as you go down the strand. And one strand is obviously larger than the others. So if you want that particular one, you can let us know too. $20 each only, Gem 32.
Talking about like old superheroes, Batman.
Oh, the old Batman.
The Eartha Kitt.
Bang. Pop. That Batman.
What's his name, that guy that played Batman? Adam West?
Adam West. These are beautiful. The price is high on these, but it's not high for what they are. They're well worth the price. This is Russian Amazonite.
They got a little bit of sparkle in these.
And each one of these, look, yeah, like we would probably charge $6 at least for each one of these in the store.
Or more.
Probably $8. Because these are actually really, really nice specimens.
Delightful.
They are $55 a strand, which is actually pretty low when you consider how nice these are. Yeah, look, I just saw that one sparkling. Beautiful Russian Amazonite, Gem 33. Said each one of these could be its own pendant. Put them on a chain. Done. Sell them, mark them up, sell them off. Beautiful. Michelle says they are remaking everything. Nothing is new.
They remade a bunch of that stuff too.
Marianne says there is a remake of The Twilight Zone. Sacrilege. I don't know. I thought it was some of it was pretty good, I thought. But I know it's not the same. And then Rod Sterling. But
that Gremlin one when they was what's that guy? Captain Kirk.
With what?
What's his name? William Shatner.
William Shatner.
And you remember they made that into a movie? It wasn't that a movie?
What?
In like the 80s, they made Twilight Zone into like a movie.
I don't remember that.
And they remade that one.
But I'm not saying that, yeah.
About like the gremlins and the plane.
Oh, I feel like I remember that. This is probably over a 16-inch strand, actually.
The one that sticks in my mind is the one where she gets her plastic surgery because she's ugly. And then she's like so beautiful. And then the other people are like ducky lip.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one that sticks out in my mind is the one where he wishes all the people are dead so that he can finally read his book. And then he steps on his glasses.
I do remember that.
And so you might as well just lay down and die because there's no way that you're going to survive apocalypse now.
Right. Yep. Oh, Amy said, yeah, of course. How could we forget Unsolved Mysteries?
That was real, though.
That was real. But that was also, you did not turn on that theme song at the nighttime.
That one, in Rescue 911. One of the kids that I went to elementary school was on Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, really?
And Laurel, her grandfather was on Unsolved Mysteries.
I don't think I knew that. Sylvia says, ooh, I can watch the original Alfred Hitchcock Presents on Tubi, Peacock, and Amazon Prime. Nice. Marianne's asking The Trouble with Tribbles.
Oh, I like that.
That was good, too. My favorite Alfred Hitchcock was The Monkey's Paw, says Bobby. Jermaine says, yes, the one where he steps on his glasses is one of my all-time faves. Suzanne says, The Night Stalker. What's The Night Stalker?
That's the name of it.
The what?
An episode, I thought.
Oh, the episode? Oh, how are you doing out there, everybody? I like this talk. Reminiscing about the old TV and movies. That's my jam. I'd rather watch a lot of those than some of the stuff that comes out now.
Some of the stuff now, I was like, why did we spend time on that?
They redid Quantum Leap, and I never watched the remake of Quantum Leap because I was like, is it really going to be any good?
This is the Asian level, right?
I don't know. Oh, these are fun. Fun shapes and beautiful blue tiger eye.
I love all this new Star Trek stuff.
Yeah, the new Star Trek stuff has been good.
Like Strange New World, I'm into it.
Look at the blue tiger eye in this.
Some people hated that Discovery box. Michelle, the movie, that Section 31 was not my favorite.
No, that was not great.
But they try to squeeze too much in. That's the problem.
Let's see. This is blue tiger eye in a faceted, twisted rectangle. This is a shape you don't see very often. It's a twisted, faceted rectangle in blue tiger eye.
Those would be fun as earrings.
Yeah, because they're big, but they're light.
And they would kind of twist and kind of catch in the light.
Yeah. Marion says, I've watched almost every season on Masterpiece. Every season of what? Susan's back moved upstairs, had to set stuff up. Welcome back. Sylvia says, William Shatner in Boston Legal with smiley laughing faces. I haven't watched that.
Isn't that one of those David Kelly shows? Like Ally McBeal and Boston Legal.
Ally McBeal. I think that's the one my mom used to watch like religiously.
I used to watch that as well.
Yeah. She watched it every week. And
I like that.
What was the other? I just lost it. She was a lawyer.
What color hair?
I don't know. And it was her name, I think, was the actual show. I can't think of it. It'll come to me probably. I think it starts with a C. Amy says, The Dancing Baby. I remember that.
Wanda Ray, the lounge singer.
I don't know. I think my mom used to watch that all the time. Murphy Brown. Sylvia said Murphy Brown. Yep.
She wasn't a lawyer. She has TV.
She a TV? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
They rebooted that.
I don't know if that's the one I'm thinking
of. Her
of.
with her son. She was like a host for a TV show. Oh, no. Candace Bergen. She was on that Boston Legal.
Okay. I don't know.
There's a whole genre of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all somehow related.
Masterpiece is several shows per year, except for when they dub upstairs, downstairs.
We watch Masterpiece.
Some things on Masterpiece. I think that's what all creatures comes on. Angela, I'm liking this conversation. I'm looking for different shows. I like the old shows. Yeah, and then there's the whole like Cheers. No one mentioned Cheers, right? That went on for forever.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't even remember what happened in most of that. And it was on like all the time.
Nancy says, time for some Resveratrol with a wine glass. Right? Nice. As I got older, I got into Charmed, Angel, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, says Michelle.
I love Buffy.
Jermaine says, I liked Murphy Brown. Yeah, I think Murphy Brown is what I was thinking of. I don't know why I thought she was a lawyer. But
there's another. I'm sure you may be thinking.
Was Murphy Brown she would go in the sports bar all the time?
No.
She would hang out in the sports bar, I think. Yeah, what was that one? I can't think of it now.
She's a lawyer and would go in the sports bar.
I don't know. I feel like they always showed her in the sports bar. The Puppeteer Magician on Ed Sullivan, says Nancy. I don't know who that.
Murphy Brown, she lived with her like house decorator that was there like forever, like painting her house.
Yeah, I'm trying to think that one's coming to me now, but I can't think of what the other one is I'm thinking of.
Northern Exposure came on at the same time. Y'all remember that one?
I never got to watch that one.
Because it came on so flippin' late at night.
Amy said she was in the bar named Phil's. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. That might be. I might just be thinking of different, not putting it all together.
Doing? Her occupation?
Yeah. Sylvie says, yes, Andrew, Boston Legal was a production of David Kelly.
And he did picket fences. I remember when that little boy ate too many carrots and he turned orange. And there was like something with a finger. And that's all I remember.
Marion says, Forever Night and Kindred aren't familiar. Blood Ties I know in books and TV.
Oh, Vampire Show?
Vampire shows? I don't know. Let's see here.
There is one where he's like a painter, and then they're like, "Why do you have blood in your thing?" And he's like, "Oh, it thickens the paint." I was like, "That must smell like ass."
Marianne. Oh, Lennis is saying, Marianne, I'm still looking for all the Blood Ties spin-off smoke books. All right. So far, we've not sold any of the Blue Tiger Eye. People keep asking for it. No, not selling any of it.
Well, if you are not into Tiger Eye, just close your eyes for a minute. Because we got it coming. This is another one that we got requests for, so I don't know if the person's maybe not watching. But that one, that Blue Tiger Eye is a little bit bigger. So maybe they don't want that.
Yeah, maybe they don't want the big ones.
But I'm probably not going to get any more. Not to be hateful or anything, you know.
Let's see here. Nancy said, it's all right, it's all right. Oh, is that for the puppeteer? I kind of remember. I feel like I kind of remember that.
Desmond raptured on my brain.
Kindred had that guy from General Hospital canceled because he died in a motorcycle accident.
I love that show, Kindred.
I don't remember that at all.
It was based off of Vampire Masquerade, that game. That was Kelly Rutherford was in it.
Susan says, I'll have to replay. Hubs was talking to me and I missed it. The Blue Tiger Eye, it's really pretty.
And and they had the Nosferatu guy. And then that girl from Charmed with the red hair, she made like the love story.
Amy's saying maybe if you did individual for the Blue Tiger's Eye. Maybe.
We'll
this is that beautiful dyed tiger eye.
Best friend price.
Best friend price. $20 a strand. Beautiful. That's like a whole galaxy in those beads.
And somebody called that Galaxy Tiger's Eye. I was like, do you need to make up more names?
That makes sense at least. That's 8mm rounds. And these are, let's see, these are 16-inch strands. A lot of 16-inch strands from this vendor for being contemporary strands. That's a good size. We just sold one of these so far. Thank you so much.
I think they're so nice.
Kimberly says, wow, gorgeous. I know, right?
Fun.
3 strands available, $20 a strand, gem 35.
When we saw those before, they were, I think, 24 a strand.
Yeah, they were more than this. 24, 26, something like that. We didn't have them for very long, and we haven't gotten them since.
No. The one vendor, I think, probably died.
We just sold another one of those, so there's only one left. If you're interested, grab it up.
And the ones that are coming next are a little slightly different. Gem 36, still $20, but this time
faceted. Cheryl says those are magical.
Okay, fine.
Right? These are the faceted version. If you got the smooth, you might have to have the faceted too.
A little bit of razzle dazzle.
A little bit of extra razzle dazzle. And these are 8 millimeters as well. So these are, Norma says, did you get my email this time, Gem35? I did. Yep. Yeah, and your other one finally came through. Now they're coming in on time. It just took I don't know, it took a roundabout way. Look at this. You can still see some of the golden tiger eye in these, but with the blue and pink. Just a never seen tiger eye in multicolored beads. Isn't it cool?
It's relatively new.
Yeah, it's pretty new. Gem 36. This one, I think you see more of the yellow in it than you did on the, definitely than you saw.
That one was more
Just
purple.
Yeah, blue, pink, purple. This has the blue, pink, purple, and yellow. And the faceted. And these are also 16-inch strands, right? Yep, 16-inch strands.
Yeah, I just have the thickness of that Kindred Embrace.
Gem 36,
but $20. I loved all those Melrose Place.
It's like a rainbow. That's a true galaxy. Look at that, all that color.
And Models Inc.
What is that?
Park West.
Models Inc.
This is all 90s shows. This may be too new for you, William.
Maybe. I used to watch, what was the, she worked at the magazine. Her dad ran the magazine. Nina Garcia was Nina, and Elliot was the photographer. Oh. Just Shoot Me. Just Shoot Me was that. I used to watch that.
You still watch that?
I do, sometimes when it comes on. And Frasier came on.
Little chicken pot pie. And he was like, chicken pot.
Oh, chicken pot. Yeah, that was Elliot would say that to, what was his name from Saturday Night Live? David Spade, yeah. Nancy, send an email, please. We only take emails. So if you'd like one, the 36, just send Gem36 to info@allegorygallery.com. Remember, we only do the emails here. This is a gorgeous. I love Just Shoot Me, says Marianne. I know, it's so fun, right?
Do you remember the one where that she dated some guy and he was like a Sesame Street? And he would like say all this stuff through his character.
Yeah, well, that was I just watched. Yeah, I must have been watching that because that was I just watched at the.
Played the alien, right?
Huh?
That was the guy who played Alien.
I have no idea, but I did.
Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh yeah. I like Third Rock from the Sun too. I got to meet John Lithgow. He's really nice. He's really nice and he's very smart. I watched Melrose and Just Shoot Me, says Michelle.
I love Melrose Place.
I never watched Melrose.
Oh my gosh, I still think about that.
I never watched it. I never got into that. Norma says, I like Just Shoot Me. Susan said The X-Files. I really loved the first 2 seasons.
That was good.
Look at this blingy goodness.
Melrose Place, first time I saw 2 dudes kiss.
Oh,
and I was like,
I heard about
what?
that. Oh, we sold one of the 36s so far. One of the 36s. And Nancy, like I said, you tried to bin it here in the comments. Send us the email. Gem 37 is this beautiful labradorite. Only $20 a strand for this faceted 5 millimeter. It's marked. Yep, 5.5 millimeter faceted labradorite. These are some good quality stones. You can see these are 16-inch strands. You can see the bling really well on these. We've sold one of these so far. Thank you so much. Look at them, blingy. Silk stocking, says Lennis. I never saw that.
I watched it, but I have no recollection of it. And there was one with David Duchovny, and it was called Red Shoe Diary.
Don't remember that either. Michelle says, OMG on Melrose with Heather Locklear.
And then she was later there, wasn't she?
That one I don't know at all. I don't know that
I was
one.
like, I want to work at an advertising agency.
Is that what it was about?
No, it was about apartment complex.
Apartment complex? See, I don't even know.
And basically, around the corner from where Michelle lives.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all about those young people who live in an apartment complex getting up to no good.
Oh. Gem 38. Red Tiger Eye. Red Tiger Eye.
It was a spinoff of 90210, y'all. Least we forget. Kelly and that one dude.
I never watched that either.
Way too old for her. Hashtag by the way.
By the way. This is Red Tiger Eye. $10 per strand.
I made a newsletter about Melrose Place.
Did you? 10 millimeters.
The neighborhood children.
10 by 14 millimeter faceted ovals. Red Tiger Eye. Gem 38. 8-inch strands. Dynasty and Knots Landing. Marianne's laughing.
I talked to their moms about this show, about Melrose Place.
Amy says, Dylan Mackey, R.I.P. Luke Perry.
Shannon Doherty. All of them people is pretty much dead now.
Gem 38. Red Tiger. I know. What are some other shows? The 90s shows I used to watch. I'm trying to think.
That one was like a phenomenon, though. I remember, like, people like got so into it.
Yep. Falcon Crest, says Danette. I feel like I feel like I've seen a few episodes of that.
My mom, she rewrote our history and
sold another Gem 36. Thanks so much. We have one left.
She told us this story about our family history. I said, "Is that the plot of Falcon Crest?" I said, "Where did they make the wine in the Philippines?"
Susan says, I'm not into Westerns, but I did like The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. It's steampunk and fantasy elements.
I don't remember that.
I didn't see that. Mena says, I like those Red Tiger Eye.
Oh, I love Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
I didn't see that.
With Sully.
Dallas.
Who Shot JR? Knots Landing. They had the shower scene with that dude.
Don't remember that.
And people getting all
wild about it. Ooh.
Do you remember that one where they kept showing the butts on TV and they like made a big deal of it?
When butt was a big deal.
It was.
We've come so far so fast.
No, it didn't. It took like 20-something years.
Yeah, it did.
It was. Now they just show it all, naked attraction style.
Right. At least in England they do.
But it was.
Or the UK.
They've always shown stuff in England.
More, yeah.
But they. What was it called? NYPD Blues. And then
NYPD Blues.
I feel like I remember that. Such a people like threw a fit because they showed that dude's butt in that woman's.
Marion says, Susan, have you seen The Luminaries? Says, no, I haven't. Do tell, Marion. This is Green Appetite. Green Appetite. Smooth rondelles. Look at the quality in those. $18 a strand. 3 strands available. One of these has sold so far.
ER. Least we forget.
Oh, ER. Oh my goodness.
In Chicago, something.
These are about 5 millimeters.
ER people used to lose their minds.
I used to watch ER, but I wasn't like religiously watching it. I would catch it when I could, but I did enjoy it. I always enjoyed it when I saw it.
There's
16-inch strands.
Episode with Noah Wiley's character and how he's gonna play Weeble Wobble with the Fabergé eggs.
Lena says they edited all the Highlander TV shows. No nudity in the U.S. version. I remember Highlander too.
I love that show.
Yeah, my mom and I would watch that too.
You remember the spinoff show, Raven and Wolf?
No.
Another fine quality Canada production. She had real short pixie cut, bleach blonde hair.
I don't think I remember that one.
And she had that smoking hot dude, the wolf.
There can be only one.
And it was like a crime, like he was a detective.
2 of these have sold. 1 left so far. Chicago Fire, says Danette? Question mark.
It was a medical show. And it had a guy that had like a little goatee. Chicago Hope, I thought.
Chicago Hope, that sounds right. Chicago
But,
Hope.
you know, there were so many of those medical ones. I barely remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all become one.
Susan says, yep, to Highlander. Hercules and Xena.
Oh, I
Xena.
love Xena. I will
What?
watch that again.
I know.
Hercules, not anymore. But I will watch Xena.
Xena. What was the whole Xena?
Warrior
Princess. That's right.
That's New Zealand's finest. I used to love that Hercules until now, recent times. I said, sometimes you just don't need to talk.
Marianne says the version with Adrian, Paul, Andrew for Highlander. All right,
They're remaking that.
Last strand, y'all.
Henry Cavill, y'all.
Gem, Lucy Lawless.
Mm-hmm. She looked the same. There's a show that I want to watch that she's in, but we don't have the channel. And it's like a murder mystery, and she plays like the lead person.
Oh.
And I want to watch that.
This is Gem 40. This is turquoise heishi. About 3x5 millimeter turquoise heishi beads.
And I want to finish that Franny Fisher show. Because we never finished that.
Mm.
But I don't think we
Michelle
have
says, love Xena.
Yeah. What's their little friend's name?
That's Amy saying, smack my head, Kevin Sorbo.
Mm-hmm.
And then more Xena than Hercules, but both. Yes, says Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle says, my phone refuses to type it correctly. What's your phone? What are you trying to type? Oh, love Xena. Yeah, with the X, not the Z. So these are beautiful turquoise heishi beads. Real turquoise.
There was another one that came out, and it was like in outer space, and it was like that time period. It's like Cleopatra 2525 or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It has that real pretty black lady from she was an angel. She played the one that's going to give them all eternal peace.
Mm-hmm. Lennis says go way back. No ER Chicago Hope without St. Elsewhere. I remember that. I think my gram used to watch that. We would watch it with her. Anna says, oh, I love Miss Fisher's.
They made a new one, and it's like in the 60s. I didn't see that one.
Norma said, I've seen a few episodes of the Lucy Lawless show they played on network TV, but I don't have the channel either.
It's like Acorn or something.
Love Cleopatra 2525, says Lennis. Same as Firefly.
Oh, I love Firefly.
You made me watch that.
Mm-hmm.
We watched that together.
Shiny.
When we first got together.
He had to get educated.
Purina Fisher, says Marianne.
I don't know. The Franny Fisher? She's like it's in Australia, and she has to solve the murder mysteries in like the 20s.
Amy says, oh, is she the lady with a famous father?
Franny Fisher?
I don't know what anyone's talking about now. Too many names going on.
No, we just rapid fire.
Gina Torres, says Lennis. I don't know what we're talking about now.
That's the actress.
I know, but I don't know what everybody's shouting out names. Anyway.
I think I've seen Almost Fire.
Marianne, my autocorrect did the same for Frine Fisher. Frine Fisher.
That's that show.
Frine. Okay, yeah, Gina, says Amy.
She was in Game of Thrones for like 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah?
And she played the actress that played Cersei. And then they got, not happy time. Does nobody have happy time on that show?
No, nobody has happy time on that show.
She is like an amazing actress. I'll watch anything she's in.
Gina Torres was in Cleopatra 2525 and Firefly.
Oh, yeah, that's the actress. She's in Firefly.
You sound like Amy. She says, oh, yeah, Gina.
Now, because there's another actress who has a similar name, and my mind went to her, but that's not it.
That's not it.
No, but Firefly, she's one of the main people.
I don't remember it much, of course.
She's like
Because
so
we binged
pretty.
that. We binged that.
She's like probably one of the most prettiest people in my mind.
All right, y'all.
And I don't know why she's not like one of the most famous people.
Maybe she doesn't want to be.
Wow, she tried.
Did she?
She's trying to be. She's still doing stuff, I think.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you for grabbing a few things. If you missed the beginning, because we did start earlier than normal with the show, do go back and catch the replay. You'll get these are special introductory prices, just available for you all on the live at the moment. So please be sure to grab them when you can or as you can. Quantities are limited. We may pass these through possibly D-Stash, and then they go off to the physical store. They will not go online. So if you want these, now's the time to get them.
Unless you're going to come to the store.
Unless you're going to come into the store.
And pay extra.
And pay extra because the price will go up at that point. Lennis says she is a sci-fi queen.
Mm-hmm. You know why I liked her? Because she was strong.
Hmm.
You know how sometimes they have the ones and they look like they get blown over with a leaf?
Yeah.
She looked like she could kick down the door.
That's why people like Xena.
Correct.
Yep.
Did you see that? They're like, I don't know how my son could be gay. And then he's always watching these women. And then it's all like Buffy Xena, and Firefly.
Yep. As soon as it says La Femme Nikita.
The show.
Femme Nikita. I never watched
Is
that.
she the one that's selling that collagen something that you have to like snort?
I'm not
But
seeing that.
Apparently it's working because she's like...
It's working for her?
I know she's half Asian, so I'm kind of like, is this like
it could just be genetic, right?
And I know that's a little bit racist, but I can say it.
You can
I'm
say it.
Asian.
Yes, you can say it.
And it's kind of true sometimes. Depends what kind of Asian, not everybody ages the same. I think you like reach a point and then it goes like rolled.
Amy says that was on USA Channel. Yeah, I don't think I watched that.
Well, she's selling collagen or something now. And she, like, whatever she's doing, it's like working.
Everybody should be doing it.
I was like, what you gotta do? You gotta like suck the collagen out of the fish or something. I don't know what you're doing.
Well, this has been fun.
Talking
Seeing pretty beads and talking about old shows. That's something we haven't talked about in a while.
Well, I would love to see. How about we do...
Lena says Peta Wilson was smoking hot.
Who's that one?
P-E-T-A. Is that Peta Wilson?
What's the one? She's on that one show with that dude and then the spaceship.
This is how he describes things to me,
lady,
and I'm supposed to know.
Plant lady, and then she was on... she was one of them witches in the new Star Wars movies.
Whoever gets this, I'm going to send Andrew to ask you all the questions.
And she had brown hair, and she was with that dude on Farscape.
Because somebody's going to understand you. And I'm just going to make them your best friend for...
Voice a little bit.
I'm going to record all your TV questions and send them to them. Who's Peta Wilson?
Oh, Australian actress.
Anybody get Andrew's?
I'm Nikita. She was with that. She was the main person on Farscape.
Claudia?
Yes.
Says Lennis.
See, that's how
Lennis gets you. Lennis gets you.
She's also like...
Marianne says, duh, nope.
Huh? Who said?
Marianne.
I'll show you a picture and then you'll know who it is. Maybe. If you watched it. I don't know if you watched it.
What am I watching now?
I don't think we ever finished Farscape together.
I don't remember Farscape. I don't remember even starting Farscape, but that doesn't mean we didn't. Because my memory is not great.
That's how she looked in the old time.
Oh, Farscape. Is that the one you said is the most beautiful?
No. The one...
Marion says Farscape not watched. Claudia Black is also Pitch Black and Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
He made me watch Stargate too. That was good. I like those.
This is the one.
Oh,
Gina Torres.
she's the one doing the collagen stuff?
No.
No.
No, she's the one who was on Angel and on
Oh, we watched
Serenity.
Angel.
And she was on the other one.
See, I don't remember people, though. That's my problem. I don't remember actors and actresses for whatever reason.
This one, Maggie Q, she's the one that's doing the collagen.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a current picture.
45 years old.
She's the one sucking the collagen out of this. Like, something. I was like, what?
Snorting the collagen.
She was like, because there's like something that if you eat it or something, it doesn't absorb into the skin the same way. And so she's got some kind of way. I never bought it, so I never knew like the secret.
Yeah.
But apparently it's something that you like take and it like goes into your stomach and it like realigns your chakra from the inside or something.
I'm sure it's not inexpensive.
It's some kind of science stuff that sounds like not science.
Michelle says Stargate the movie. Lena says no, Stargate SG-1.
Mm-hmm. She was good. She came way later.
What were you going to say? Okay, let's what?
I don't know. Oh, for a live challenge, maybe.
Oh, what's the live challenge?
Maybe make something from one of the shows we talked about.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Let me see. Where's my live challenge? Where did the banner? There it is. AG Live Challenge. Design something from one of your favorite old TV shows or influenced by your favorite old TV shows.
What would you make? What are you going to make?
I don't know. I have to think about that.
Probably Golden Girls.
Maybe, or maybe Mama's Family.
What did that?
I don't know what I could do.
A curler?
Think. We're all in the family. I could do something with their chair or upholstery.
Put little curlers.
Little curlers.
Didn't she have the curlers on her head?
Yep. A lot of times she did. I don't know. I have to think about it. But there's the AG Live Challenge. If you choose to accept, make something inspired by an old TV show that you loved and post it in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, you can post it on your timeline and tag it AG Live Challenge. And be sure to tag us at Allegory Gallery so we actually see it. We'd love to see what you do. So make sure you tell us what show it's from and what the inspiration is. We'd love to see. Kimberly says, I love the jewelry in Bones.
Don't we know who made that?
I don't know.
I have a feeling that I knew who made the jewelry in that show.
Maybe.
I have to think about that.
Lena says, I have a Doctor Who necklace. Nice. Michelle says, oh, so do I, but I think I'm choosing a different direction. For the AG Live Challenge?
What will we pick? What did we talk about for like 3 hours?
Lots of shows. You can pick any show. Pick your favorite old TV show.
And that, you know what it make me feel old? Is that show is like...
What show?
All those 90s shows are like 30 years ago.
Yes, they are.
And I was like...
Yes, they are.
Because they were like... Because I think 30 years ago, I think the 70s.
I know.
And that's not correct anymore.
That's not correct. Nope, it is not. That's the way it is.
I don't know. I watched one show, and it was like the spin-off of that 70s show in like the 90s. Remember? I think you watched
Wait, what is it?
It's the spin-off of that 70s show, but it was like in the 90s.
That 90s show?
It got canceled, so don't get too
I've watched
attached.
a few of them, yeah.
But I did not get that like stirring of nostalgia.
No, because I think like that 70s show was meant for people who are not from the 70s.
It's like
it was meant as a
parody.
Fake nostalgic, yeah, like what it probably was. And I think that 90s show was meant for people who were born in like 2010s.
And they didn't actually
live through it.
You know which one, which was kind of like eerily the same, like that, like I think it was called Penis in the show.
Oh, that show.
And the two girls.
Yes.
I was like, this is like my youth.
Yeah, see, I don't think I felt like that was my youth, but they were in the city though too.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't my life. Kimberly says, I'll have to keep on this challenge and make some on a tablet, and chatting is hard tonight.
Yeah, just do whenever. There's no time limit.
Allison Mail, original jewelry designs that were featured on Fox's hit TV show Bones.
I think they in the beading kind of world. There was a couple people who used to send their stuff off to
ALYCENMAILLE.
and like there was something Heidi J. Hale used to send a bunch of stuff, and they were all on the Vampire Diaries, and there's a bunch of bead people who used to send their stuff off to those shows, and they would get their stuff like featured in the shows.
Good. Marianne says, consider I started watching TV about 1955. The 90s seem like yesterday. The 90s still seem like yesterday to me, too.
So, no, I don't. Yesterday now seems like yesterday. Like the 90s.
Lena says, wow, there's a whole website dedicated to Bones jewelry and all the designers highlighted. That's cool. Neat? That's cool.
I think because there was a bunch of people who they were real influential in getting people's jewelry on TV. And I don't know if people made like such a big deal of it, but this was like in the blog time. So like Cammie, back in the day in the blog days, Cammie, she's real good friends with Margo. She'd get stuff on TV. And Kamika, I can't. Oh well, it goes away. Somebody I knew. She used to make bright colored jewelry. She's from Mexico, and she wrote a book that was out for like 10 minutes.
Probably didn't know her.
That's the blog people back in the day. And then there's a couple other. One of the people, they used to buy our design challenge kits and make like a whole collection from it. And they were really good about sending stuff. So some of our beads.
So our beads are there? Nice.
All right. In spirit.
In spirit, we're there. We're on TV.
On those Canada shows.
Right. All right, everyone.
I remember I saw her in Tucson one year, and she was telling me about how Vancouver was like the Hollywood of Canada. And so she had like somebody in there in Vancouver that would like rep her stuff. And they were all on those like, Vancouver, Canada shows.
Kimberly says, really? I didn't know there was a website for Bones jewelry. She says, oh, wow. And Michelle said, there's amazing jewelry on Bones. We still watch it.
That came after. So I only saw a couple.
Yeah, I don't remember that too much.
That's the guy from Angel.
Yeah. I remember that's, like, I don't remember, but I remember watching some of them. Yeah. Good times.
So I'm going to make some bone jewelry.
Make bone jewelry. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said,
the Stargate.
Huh?
Stargate jewelry.
Stargate jewelry. Hollywood, North Vancouver.
And now it's all in Toronto. We watched that Reacher, and I like Google stuff real fast.
He always checks to see where things are made.
I always am curious. With that Reacher, we have one episode that left on Thursday.
Yeah. Kimberly says, I rewatch the series constantly just to see the jewelry. That's cool.
Not for the plot.
For the plots. Yeah. All right. If you missed any of this show or yesterday's show with the new check glass, these are new gemstones tonight. We had new check glass yesterday, along with some mixed kits yesterday, or mixed lots. If you missed any of that, please take a rewatch through. Send us an email if you'd like to claim anything. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thursday's Harry.
Yes, Thursday is Harry Wood Ceramic. So you can check that out. Be sure to tune in with us on Thursday. Saturday is book club on Zoom. We'll post the Zoom link in the Design Challenges group and also send out an email with that as well. So be sure you're on our email list or join our Design Challenges group. Preferably do both things. And we hope you have a good night. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for all those who were able to make purchases tonight. That helps us stay in business, and we really appreciate it. Please like, share, and follow us everywhere at Allegory Gallery, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
See ya.